Welcome back, everyone, and we are live. Round 5 is in the can, and we're back for episode 34. Arthur, George, welcome back, boys.
Hey,
Hey,
Nico.
Welcome, Nico.
How's
How was your
things?
week?
Mate, what a weekend of football. That was some super games.
Unbelievable.
Super games. But this guy's on the top here.
What have I done?
I think we need to get something off his chest early.
Yeah,
eh?
I'm actually colourblind, but even I can see George is turning
Oh
blue.
no!
Come on,
It was a
mate.
great. It was a great weekend of
great
rugby league.
weekend.
What Nico and Adi asked was fantastic. It was a fantastic weekend, and I've turned the television on Monday evening
Just
with a
before
coffee.
just before you go there,
Yeah, tell me.
You've jumped the gun.
What have I done? What have I done?
Let's go to the sin bin.
Yes, Simbin.
Let's go to the sin bin. George, over to you.
No.
George has got something he's dying to get out.
No. Look, I had something else organised for the Simbin, and I'll do it next week. But look, I sat down and on the Monday and turned on my favourite show, 360. I got a coffee. Everything was going well. Then we had a Neville called Paul Kent, and he started talking about what was that dog?
Weak-gutted
dog
James Salmon.
scenario. Is he for real? I thought a journalist is supposed to grab information and tell us all. But no, they don't do that anymore, guys. What they do is they support all their mates. Now, you know what? Ricky was wrong, and that's going to sit with him forever. Okay, because not only Penrith and when Salmon scored, he shouted out weak gutted dog. Okay, well, didn't one of his players say something about a weak gutted dog a couple of weeks ago?
But in Salmon's, yeah, exactly. Corey Horsburgh.
Yeah, Corey Horsburgh. That's going to sit.
Or
sit
sorry,
with
actually,
him.
wasn't Corey Horsburgh. It was the other guy calling Corey Horsburgh that.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But in Jamin Salmon's defence, he never came out and said a word after that incident last year.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
He never said a word. So he scored the try, pushed him over the 50 mark. He just felt the emotion. I don't blame him, to be honest. I mean, to get attacked like that in a press conference, you have every right to shoot back.
Okay, so what happens, because the rugby league is a very emotional game, okay, when someone says something like that about you, that you're a weak gutted dog, like when you're 12 years old, okay, guess what? It's going to come back to bite you. And guess what? It bit Ricky Stewart on the bum.
And Paul Kent,
And it's going to keep on biting Ricky Stewart on the bum. And then we had Paul Kent on 360 attacking not only
Jermaine
Salmon,
Yeah.
but the whole Penrith rugby league team. Okay, and quote. Ivan Cleary, he's got better pull up his socks, and he attacked his character. For God's sake, you're going to be a meme very soon, dickhead. Because you are a dickhead. Because guess what?
George, you let it out,
Peter,
mate,
Peter
swear.
Vidal. No. Peter Vidal sat next to him, and Buzz sat next to him. Okay, and they looked like they were more in tune than
Kenty.
Than Kenty.
But all that
for
happened
once.
was, so Ivan Cleary was asked about the incident in the post-match press conference, all right, about Jamin Salmon scoring the try and screaming out, weak gutted dog. And all Ivan Cleary said was, I suppose that's karma.
And that's right.
That is right. And Paul Kent went off his rocker about it. I can't understand why, to be honest.
He's trying to
I know
protect
that
his friend.
He's good mates with Ricky Stewart, but Ricky Stewart, he made a bad judgment call, and like you said, he has to live with it.
I'll say it again: be a journalist, dickhead,
Yeah.
and don't be whatever you are, because you're going to become a meme very soon. So don't do it, because we all think you're a good journalist. Guess what? I'm starting to question that. And the minute that Buzz Rothfield looks like more a journalist than you, gee, you got an issue. You got a big issue. Okay, protect your friend, but when he's wrong, and he's so wrong, and it's going to follow him forever. Okay, and not only that, all the journalists, they treat us with contempt. Okay, I listen to a lot of radio. I listen to a lot of radio and a lot of television and a lot of podcasts. And you know what? They don't tell us the truth. Okay, they try to protect their friends. Okay, because they've played with them, most of them, or they know them. Okay, and they treat us like we don't know the game. For God's sake.
They're also afraid of getting a cold shoulder if they say something that the coaches don't like. They won't answer their phones next time.
Yeah, but
then don't sit in that chair. Yeah. You got to be unbiased. You've got to call it like it is. That's what we do.
What's the bet if they actually called it like it was? Okay, maybe some coaches wouldn't return their phone call. But in the long run, what's the bet that they'll be the number one journalist in town?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How much can you, again, some journos, especially this Kenty now, which I had some time for, really making me sick. I'm not going to talk about James Graham or any other ones, but anyway.
But just one thing I want
talk
to
to
say
me,
about,
Adi.
about
Talk to me.
Jermaine Salmon. Just goes to show how much it was on his mind, though. For him to go, the emotion showed that it was playing on his mind since then. So I feel sorry for the kid. You know, and he just let off some steam then. So
On the surface of it, from the limited information that we have, what he did was wrong. You know, he made a joke about Ricky Stewart's disabled daughter, from what I understand.
Whatever.
But he was 11 years old.
was
You
a
know what I
young
mean?
kid.
Like, he was 11 years old. Like, the school playground is the harshest environment on the planet.
It is, yeah, man.
Not that it happened on the school playground, it happened at footy,
Football
whatever. But
fields,
at that age, kids have no idea of, making fun of each other. I mean, it's like, I just can't believe Sticky was still living with it 12 years later,
And the
13 years later.
And the worst thing about the 360 thing, or the Kenty thing, you know what I mean, when he attacked Ivan Cleary and talked about his son, yeah, keep away from that, mate. Keep away from that, because Ivan has shown, in how many years do we know him? For 20 years we know him?
Yeah,
Has
yeah.
he showed one day of lack of character? And his son, please.
And there might be a few idiots within that team, and I wouldn't consider Salmon as one of them based on what he did. But more than
Nathan.
3/4 of the team are stand-up guys. Who, you know,
Well, yeah.
Paul Kent was way out of line.
Well,
way out of line.
he mentioned that, and he said about Penrith being Les, and then when Vidal and Buzz brought out, well, is Isaiah Yeo Le?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? No. Okay. Well, who's the Le? One of them or two?
yeah.
Okay. So he looked like a fool. And you know, I say it again, the minute that Buzz looks more like a journo than you, well, you got problems, Kenty. Seriously.
I
know what
knew
mean?
we had to jump straight into the
There
Sydney
you
for
go.
this one because George was.
But
was boasting
it's
at
not
the
only
same-
him. The last couple of weeks, listen to pods and television, okay? Okay, you know what? If it's Phil Gould's got an agenda. Okay, so you know what? I'll call Phil Gould. But all the rest of them, okay, when they don't tell the truth, what they're watching, or when one player touches it seven rucks ago, and guess what? He created the try for a flying flanker. For fuck's sake, please, okay? And don't insult our intelligence. Guess what? We actually might know a little bit about the game, just a little bit, yeah? We know the basic, structure of the game. You know what I mean?
We don't just read the pictures.
Yeah. So, for God's sake. Anyway, let's move on, because I got that off my chest
There
now.
you go. We've got it
Okay,
off.
Off
Well
the
done,
chest,
Brett.
and we can go back to normal,
Are you feeling a bit better?
normal
That's it.
broadcasting,
Yeah,
Nicola.
yeah.
Normal broadcasting.
Your skin colour's returning
It's
to normal.
good,
as
it's
well,
good.
yeah.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well then. I'm doing
Yeah,
well.
So why don't we jump into the round that was? Because it was just another great round of footy. I mean, the whole start of
Special.
this season's just been special. Yeah, it's been
Special.
fantastic. So, Roosters 28 over the Eels 20, opening up the round. It was always an uphill battle for the Eels. The Roosters were just too good. A couple of sin bins didn't help. Roosters got some points on the back of 5 or 6 set restarts. It was just too much at the end.
Mate, I think we got a reminder of how good Keary is, Luke Keary.
Yeah.
A lot of people just, I don't know, we were talking about a guy who's just signed for Parrot for 1 point something million. And Keary's won, 3 premierships with 2 teams. One in 2014 when he was 21 or 22, and 2 with the Roosters back to back. And he's not nowhere near that money of Moses, but he absolutely played so well. And Sam Walker is 20 years old and was tackling. Some of the tackles he did were fantastic against big men. So on the back of that, they lost Teddy early as well.
Well, let me ask you about that first sin bin. Penasini gets sin bin for being inside the 10.
Yeah, that was a bit
Had nothing to do with the play. Didn't interfere at
professional
all.
foul, wasn't it? or
How's
something?
that a professional
yeah,
foul?
I don't know. Man.
And if that is a professional foul, why wasn't Keary sent to the sin bin 5 minutes later
yeah,
when he tackled a player without the ball,
the
which led to
VAR.
the Roosters' no try?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Everyone seemed to miss that.
Yeah, look, the referees. I think, you know what, the quality of the games has masked the referees. They've been diabolical this year. Be it forward passes, be it incidents you're talking about. I think in general the standard of refereeing has gone down. Honestly, I do. And hip drops we'll talk about later. But I've got question marks about that too. In terms of this game, Nicola, I'm going to be quite honest. I think the score flattered Parramatta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they scored a couple of late tries.
Yeah, the score flattered Parramatta. I think Roosters are a team. You know what? Something about Roosters. They got a really high rugby league IQ. All of them as a collective. They're really good. And when they're on song like they were, and you know what? They just happened to be on song, okay? And I think you have dipped because you had 4 or 5 really hard
Well, 2 bins
games.
in the first half didn't help either.
Yep. Sin bins, of course. You know what? In this type of game, when you got one less, it's a big mountain to climb. And if they don't score in that 10 minutes, Nicola, you're doing extra tackling. So they're wearing you down because they can wear you down because they know exactly what they're doing. Look, Roosters are on their way. You know, they're really on the way.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the game. It was a really good game. Parramatta didn't stop trying.
Yeah, they didn't stop. No.
Parramatta didn't stop trying. So look, it's a good one.
Yeah.
And we can identify players and talk about ones who've done well. But I'm sure all the listeners watched and they saw what they've done.
I just love how every week we keep going back to Moses' salary somehow.
Oh, I don't. I'm not going nowhere near. It's
always,
done now.
always.
It's done.
I just wanted to bring
It's
it up
done
as a
now.
Kiri because everyone's forgotten.
Actually,
about
you
him.
know
He's so
what?
good.
Mitch had a good game.
What about Jack White? And
Mitch
we'll touch on that later.
yeah,
but
sure.
Mitch was okay.
The money that he's been offered, but no, yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, moving along. Panthers Saturday really put a score on the Raiders, 53-12. It was close at half time. Cleary kicked a field goal to make it 13-6 right on half time. And the Raiders were right in it, but I think the Panthers just too much class in the second half.
Yeah. How good is the winger, Taruva? I really rate that guy. That try that he scored, where out of nothing, he just tucked it through. That was sensational. Penrith getting back to what they're good at, mate. So good on them.
And Canberra still
good to
like
see.
they're a very inexperienced side. There's a lot of youth mixed with a bit of age. It's a little unbalanced, I think, at the moment, and they're carrying injuries as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to make out of Canberra at the moment. I do know that Penrith needed this win. They needed that size of a win, and I'm hoping they get a few more wins of that nature to bring their mojo back, because they've had a hard start to the year, and if we want the best of them, they need these type of victories. Going into half time, I didn't see this coming, Nick.
What surprised me was Jordan Rapana made some really ordinary errors.
Yeah.
One of the most experienced players on the side.
You know what? I think Rapana, again, just didn't have a good day. For such a massive forward pack, they really get worked over, and even when they poke through the line, Nick, somehow they don't get that momentum. It's strange.
But it's interesting because it's an aging pack too. They've got a lot of players around the 30 mark and a lot of players in the early 20s. There's not too many in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a weird balance.
I think that signing of Jack, I think it indicated that they want to build the team around him.
Well, they haven't signed him yet.
Okay.
They've made him an offer.
That offer with Jack, I think it says that they want to build the team around him. They've got a lot of young players coming through as well. They've got a great flag team.
While we're on it, is he worth $1.1 million for 4 years at 30 years old?
For Canberra, yes.
For Canberra, yeah.
For Parramatta, for Canterbury, no, but for Canberra,
yeah,
yes. Because he's going to be 6. He's going to play 6. And he's going to drive the team, and they're going to build a team around him. Because he's got 4. It's a 4-year deal, so 4 years is a lot of years to build around him. But this one, I am glad personally that Penrith won of that nature.
Yep.
Because I want to see Penrith at their best, and hopefully that they're coming back to their best. And Adi mentioned Taruba, but that whole back three.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying last week,
God's
remember?
sake.
Yeah.
That back three, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's, you know what, that is the key. That is the system, and they all try. Every team tries to do it, but somehow they do it the best.
Well, this Taruva, everyone's kicking to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because look at the two alternatives.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
so they don't kick to
and
Toho.
he's not letting anyone down.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I just had a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
Was that the first time Penrith are playing Canberra after that comment with Ricky Stewart?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it looked like they were on a mission to
Yes.
smash them, and they
Yes.
did,
Yeah.
which was fantastic.
And if you notice, they were all trying to get Salmon a try.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
were all
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to get him a try.
You could just see it. Hey, they were just banded together. They're very, they're a very tight team. Now, a question for you guys: do you think Penrith are an arrogant team? Do you think they're?
You know what? I think they are, but I think you have to be.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think any team that's that
Thank you.
good, any world champion boxer, you have to have that bit of arrogance.
Yeah.
You have. I think a couple of them, I don't have to name them, go too far.
Yeah.
Because I think one of them is just an idiot. But aside from that, I think I think it's a healthy arrogance. I mean, players like Yeo, Cleary, you know, and I could name another, you know,
Fish,
the
all of them.
fullback.
Yeah. Edwards,
there's no
Fish.
arrogance at all.
Exactly.
You know?
Don't you think it's just immaturity on a couple of guys? Some guys are just young and they're just
No, I think they're
just arrogant, yeah?
I think I need it. You know what? This is
Jerome Luluai humiliated his best mate at his own wedding.
exactly.
that
So
Right.
that was disappointing.
He's a moron. There's no other way I can. There's no other way I can.
I'm not.
I don't care what public opinion is. I don't care what people
I'm
think
not
of me
going that
saying
far.
it. He's a moron. He's a really good player, but he's a moron. Who stands up as a best man at your best mate's wedding and embarrasses him with
agreed.
with something you have to come out and apologise for?
I agree. I agree.
That was a
agree.
pre-prepared speech.
Oh, I agree.
Moron.
I agree.
He claims that he was in gangs growing up. Have you ever watched Toyota Cup footage of Penrith from 5 years ago?
No.
He was a stick insect
Yeah.
with a short back and sides haircut. He actually looked like a seahorse. His eyes were bigger than his cheeks, right? He was no gang member. Now he's grown his hair long. He's put on a few kilos. He's got a blonde streak in his hair and he thinks he's a gang member. He's not. There's my rant for the week.
I look at it a little bit differently. I want to watch outstanding rugby league.
yeah.
So some players, some teams need to be arrogant, need to show arrogant. You know what? There's boxers that we know.
Yeah.
There's soccer teams.
It's
Manchester
it's
United.
part of it, yeah.
It's part of who they are. Penrith need to be arrogant.
Yeah.
If we want to see them at their best, and I want to see great rugby league, we need them to be arrogant.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's why I want more 53 victory scores, and that's why you know what, the end with the gut when he scored a try, and we all saw the footage, and we all saw what came out of his mouth. Weak gutted dog. Okay, I loved it, and when I saw that, everybody jumping on him. Okay, I'm thinking, yeah, they're half back, because guess what? A couple of weeks ago, when they were scoring tries, they were just coming up to him, going, to all of them. So all of a sudden, so that's what I want to see.
A lot of emotion in that.
It was because of that comment, yeah.
That's what I want to see. But we'll move on from this game.
Yep.
Raiders have got plenty of work to work on. Nicola, I hope they find their way, but I'm questioning that, because we're getting to the stage where we're seeing the real teams. We said the first 6 to 8 rounds in the too hard basket. We're very close to starting to read the book, Nicola.
Okay. In the following game, Friday, the second game on Friday night, the Storm 18 points to 10 over the Rabbitohs. Storm missing a couple of key players. Rabbitohs, George, I'm sorry, they're not impressing me. Demetriou's not impressing me. What's it, 2 from 5?
Yeah, intriguing game. Game. You know what? When in doubt, go back to normal. Okay.
Latrell's been very quiet.
Very quiet. I'm alluding to the Storm now. The Storm went back to a formula, Nick, which super coach, or one of the super coaches, John Creese Senior, had formulated maybe 5-10 years ago, when he didn't have all those superstars. Okay, which was we're going to tackle, wrestle, and then once we stop wrestling, we're going to tackle more.
Yep.
Okay, they were outstanding in what they
Harry Grant, how good was he?
Yeah.
You know what? And there's some
Munster,
brilliance.
obviously.
I was going to say, and there's sprinkled through the team a little bit of brilliance with Harry Grant, which honestly he just keeps on getting better. And Monster, well, he's the pod's favourite son, basically.
He's just getting better and better, isn't he?
He is.
The gift that keeps on giving, mate.
Yeah, he's
him and Haas.
outstanding. I'm not too worried about the Bunnies at the moment. Let's wait for a few more weeks. But to be honest, they're further away than the score indicates. If Melbourne Storm, they're going to get back to their old ways and they're going to trouble every team. The Bunnies, well, I'm scared. I'm scared this week because they're playing the Bulldogs, depleted Bulldogs, and I'm petrified.
Yeah, and they are depleted too.
Latrell, not worried again, but he's got to get on his bike because it's not. We say he's a strike player and he gets the ball 4 times, but he causes havoc. He's not even doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't really mind if he doesn't work hard from fullback, but show something. He hasn't showed anything.
He's got to get involved earlier.
Yeah, if only he put as much effort as Cameron Murray does, because he
Yeah,
carries that team. How much work that
and
costs.
he's saying that, can I say, Murray was still outstanding.
He was. He's fantastic, always.
The forwards worked hard, so it wasn't like they didn't play well.
I thought Cook was really good too.
Cookie's been outstanding all year, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I think he wants his blue jersey back.
I think he's in the frame.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll get it, but I think he wants his blue jersey back. And look, I enjoyed watching this game. Storm do Storm things, and when Storm do Storm things, they're going to win.
Yeah.
You can't run away from this one.
Yeah.
Kicking off Super Saturday, the Seagulls and the Knights 32-all draw. Artie, you were saying when was the last time we had a draw?
Exactly. 2020 was the last time we had a draw.
Was it?
32 points all.
Yeah, what a game. But the one thing that really peed me off about that game was Bradman Best scored a try that was disallowed. I got no idea how the hell that was disallowed. There was no knock on, there was nothing. He had full control of the ball. He never lost control. And to disallow that try and then end up with a 32, they got robbed a point.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it was a cracking game. Newcastle, man, they are just playing for the coach, aren't they?
They're showing us something, aren't they?
Exactly. And Ponga, who's Ponga? Is he playing or not? Or doesn't matter. They're playing better without him.
They're showing us something. The Knights, George, this year.
Exactly.
Dominic Young,
4 tries.
4 tries. Nicola Jackson Hastings' best game for the club at the moment. It was tit for tat. What I worry about both teams' defence because it was good play, but a lot of people dropped off tackles. Outstanding game. Loved it. I thought Newcastle was the better team.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? They're that team which is fun because they're going to do a stupid thing. They're going to do a absolutely, mouth-watering, outstanding, orgasmic thing. Okay. And then they're going to do a stupid thing again. So they're the fun team of the comp. They're my new fun team of the comp. Manly for supposedly a serious rugby league team, okay? And Ola Kawatu was good again.
Yeah.
Very good again.
Yeah, he's
okay?
great.
But to let in 32 points worries me a bit. It really does worry me a bit. And, Lockie Miller, outstanding. But there was a
team should concede 32 points and win a game.
even draw. But it was full of fun.
And what about the coaching? Dominic Young, 4 tries after being dropped the week before.
We out Masterstroke.
What about that Lachlan Miller where the Manly guy was running for the try line and he's just letting him go all the way? He got his lines mixed up apparently.
Did he get his lines? Did he just freeze in time, in the moment?
That's what he admitted on the footy show on the Matty Johns.
That was so funny. You know what? Let's face it, it was never going to stop him anyway.
Yeah.
And he probably saved himself an injury.
Yeah, but I honestly think he's going to be the buy of the season.
He's the at the moment. At the moment, he's the buy of the season, Artie. And you know what? They're going to have more victories than we think. This Newcastle team, and I've dubbed them the fun team of the pod, and they are fun.
And your mate's injured, Tyson Gamble.
Yeah, which is disappointing.
Yeah, he's been playing good. He's been a good buy. Hey, didn't the Knights dodge a bullet Instead of Brooks, they got
Yeah,
Hastings.
yeah, I know. How serious is the gamble injury?
Yeah.
How many weeks, Sadie?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's out for a bit.
So I'm looking at the stats, Nicola, and everything is identical.
It was a tight game.
Yeah,
Probably
everything's identical.
probably a couple of the worst attempted field goals I've ever seen along the ground.
Yeah.
Was this one of the games with one of the hip drops in them?
Who was it? Manly?
There was a
No, that-
Warriors game. There
Warriors?
was the Sharks game.
The
Sharks
Sharks,
game,
yeah.
Sharks,
Yeah.
Sharks. Sorry.
But yeah, it was a crack. I mean, it was exciting, especially as a neutral fan. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Was there a sin bin in this game?
Yeah, 2 sin bins. One
sin
for
bins.
Manly, where Knight scored 2 tries.
Yeah.
And there was a Fitzgibbon got sent off for a sin bin for Knights, and Manly scored 1 try during that period. So
Yeah. So what we
Newcastle
say,
took more advantage of the sin bin than Manly, but
what we say when someone gets sin bin, it's really difficult these days for
Yeah.
But you know what? Again, in Mudgee, what a strange place to be, but what a great place to be.
Great spectacle
Okay,
too.
full house,
yeah.
and you know what? The boys produced a great game, and again,
We neglected to mention
Fun.
that earlier. It was played at Mudgee.
yeah,
Yeah.
fun city for me. I love it.
And the players definitely like O'Brien because they're playing for him. So
Well,
that's good to see.
how
It's
wrong was I
fantastic.
from last year? I was calling for his head,
Mm.
and it's obvious that they're playing for him now. Is it a little bit of change personnel? Is it Ponga not there, unstabilising the team? Which he wouldn't do that anyway. You know what I mean? I would have. You know what?
No, it's the control. It's Hastings because they've got
Hastings?
the control freaks there.
Mate, I'm telling you
Pulling
now.
the strings. You could see it. He's pulling
I'll
the
tell
strings.
you
Whereas
now.
before they didn't have a guy. Their halfback before was the St George guy that was there,
Yeah,
the reserve grader. He hasn't really got a voice like Hastings.
You know what? I really wish the Bulldogs had Hastings because let me tell you, he's what he does. He does the best. And you know what? Newcastle had Gidley coming off the bench. He was best 14. Remember?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
used to come off the bench when it was Johns and
Yeah,
and Butts and everybody. I'm telling you now, I can see Ponga coming off the bench.
yeah.
I can see Ponga coming off the bench.
One thing I want to mention about this game just before we go is the 2 Johns boys.
Swapping jerseys.
Played
at
against
the end of
each
the
other.
game, yeah.
Both
Is it the
sons
first
of Matty
time?
Johns.
Yeah.
But first time ever. What a special moment that would have been for Matty Johns.
It would have been.
I love Matty Johns.
Yeah, it's funny.
I love his show. I like his character. I love everything about him, and he's got a good football brain. If you hear him
Yes.
talk about footy, man,
Yes.
it's spot
He really
on.
does.
Everything he says
Tactically,
is
yeah.
spot on.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
just thought, so yeah, great moment for the Johns boys.
So moving along, Artie, the Dragons 38 over the Dolphins 12. It's the first score the Dolphins have had put on them.
Yeah, it was, mate. Look, you can only play what's in front of you, and I felt for the Dolphins because they lost their half. Milford midway through the first half, so they had young Katoa, 18-year-old, steering the ship, only 5 NRL games under his belt. Tried hard, but St George's capitalised. They played well. St George did well.
They really did.
Jacob Little's been a really good buy for them. He was a great player at the Tigers, but very injury prone. But he's looking to play 80 minutes. I think that's where he wants to go now. Tyrell Sloan, mate, a guy, when he takes off, he takes off. He's special. He's going to be so good. I'm just hanging.
Ravalawa had a good game.
Ravalawa, he's not the fastest winger, is he? But he can hit.
Yeah.
His presence makes a difference.
Zach bounced back.
Zach bounced back. Amoni came back for his first game, and Jack DeBellum, we saw him back, and he tightened a bit of the defence in the middle. Blake Laurie, he's been playing well. He's scored a couple of tries. He's the leading try scorer at the moment for the Dragons.
Mate, the guy's a try scoring machine. He's a
He
try
is.
scoring machine.
There was
He
one
is.
try in that game, and for the life of me, I can't remember which side it was, but it was in the second half with there was 2 forward passes. Was it the Dolphins?
I can't
It's a
remember.
blatant forward pass out of dummy half,
Yeah.
and then the second pass was even further forward.
I think that was when Osako scored in the corner.
Yeah,
Was
yes,
it?
that's
Yeah, it was
right.
2
Yeah.
forward
The
passes.
dummy half pass was really bad. Was it?
yeah.
Was
It
it? Was it Saints or was it the
No, it was the Dolphins.
Dolphins?
It was the Dolphins, and it was
was so blatant.
Osako scored in the corner. Yeah. But by that time, the game was gone.
No, I know,
so,
but no one mentioned it. No one saw it. It was just crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
This is my fear for the
Keep an
Dol-
eye for this guy, Toby Coachman.
Okay.
He's going to be good.
This is my fear for the Dolphins, Nicola, moving forward. 3 massive efforts. Once the year, goes on, and an injury start and everybody hurts.
Yeah.
And we've got to bring ourselves up again.
Lack of depth.
The
Lack
depth,
of
mate.
depth.
Yeah.
It might pose a problem. I mean, St George did what they had to do, and they did it well because I thought they played well. And,
They did. They really did.
And Adi pinpointed a lot of the good players.
Ben Hunt had a good game, one of his better games, but
Yeah, I was actually liked Amoni and the youngster Sloan. It was good to see them coming up, and anytime Zach plays well, I'm there. The forwards done their job, so I'm worried about the Dolphins, but I think they're going back home now.
yeah.
So it might be a little bit better, but depth will get them, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jack Bostock is a St George junior. He had big raps and he got hammered. How many times?
Did
Every
he?
time he got the ball, he got smashed. So the poor kid had a target on himself. But yeah, poor Dolphins, they're hanging in there. Their
And
squad's getting thinner each day, each week.
closing out Saturday night, and I know it was April the 1st, but
Oh,
this is no
God.
April Fool's joke.
Wow.
The Broncos 46, Tigers 12. You have to keep in mind it is the Broncos. They are undefeated. Let's not forget that.
They're the best team to watch, aren't they?
But the Tigers, where did they go wrong? How do they turn it around? Where do they start?
Did anyone expect them to win this game seriously
No,
against the Broncos?
but you expected
Broncos-
an effort.
Yeah, you did. But the Broncos are just ruthless. They're just the young kids having
Yeah.
fun. But they just
Payne
look like they're having
Haas.
fun, don't they? And
Payne
Haas,
Haas picked up the ball from dummy half and scored a try. I can't believe that. He's 8 feet tall.
he's an amazing human.
Yeah.
If he keeps playing the way he is, he's going to be the GOAT of props for the NRL. He's going to be the greatest of all time. No one is going to match this guy.
Apparently, Brisbane are about to make him an contract extension offer that'll
They
make
should.
him the highest paid Bronco of all time. But I don't
So
know
they
what the
should.
figure is.
Good to see, mate, because he's made a U-turn now and he wants to stay. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic news for the Broncos.
He just does it all.
He's fantastic.
And
Dummy half.
And you know what the funny thing is? Broncos made their fair share of errors still.
Yeah.
They weren't perfect. They were not perfect. We had 30,000 there, and you got 28,000 people there to watch this game. Broncos weren't perfect, so they'll give him the ball back to the Tigers in positions where very desirable. But you know what? I want to tee off on them, but I feel sorry for him, but I can't do it. Everything's been spoken about it. You know, I mean, a certain show called 360 absolutely gave it to him again.
Every night.
Again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's just back off him for a couple of weeks.
yeah.
And see
How
where
much?
They go.
How much? You know, how much juice can you get out of this rock? You know what I mean? How many times can you blame poor what's his name?
Pasco?
Brooks.
Not Pasco.
The
Brooks.
CEO.
Brooks.
Oh, Brooks.
How many
That's it.
times can you
But
blame
seriously,
poor Brooks?
But seriously, he's like
He's terrible, but
way
that doesn't
below
matter.
par. I mean,
He's terrible.
yeah,
When I say he's terrible at $1 million.
12 years he's been terrible, George.
Yeah. If he was on 300,000 or 400,000, no one will say nothing.
I think if he was on 300,000 or 400,000, he'd be dropped.
He'd
I
be
think.
reserve grade.
I think because he's the highest paid player at the club is the reason that they're not dropping him.
of course, that's the
And he
biggest
really
reason.
needs to have a stint in Cup.
Mm,
He really does. And Dewey and Wakeham need to be the halves.
yeah.
Well,
Why they kept Brooks
Dewey
and
Wakeham
let
are other
Hastings go to
halves now?
Newcastle, I'll never understand.
Is doing Wakeham other halves this week? For,
Apparently.
No,
Brooks-
Dewey and Brooks.
Brooks and Dewey.
gee.
But that's because it's almost like he has to put Brooks in.
Yeah.
He has to.
If a coach like Maguire can't get the best out of him, or a coach like Cleary, or a coach like look what Potter did to Canterbury in that short period.
Yeah.
He made their halves look like standouts. He made Flanagan look like a superstar.
Hey,
Yet,
hey,
you know,
when Cleary had him, he got Dally of the Year, Dally Halfback of the Year.
who
When Cleary had Brooks, he got Dally Halfback
Yeah.
of the Year.
did he?
Yeah.
I thought it was before that.
No, it was
No.
that year.
Oh wow.
It was
Okay.
that year. When he had him, he got best out of him.
There you
And they
go.
were playing half decent.
I
then.
still don't know how he won Dalium Halfback of the Year.
He
But
played decent.
is that all it takes to win Dalium Halfback of
Oh,
the Year?
yes, so I don't, I
play
don't
decent.
know. I can't remember Brooks having a good game.
And it's not fair to put it all on him either.
No,
Yeah, it's
right?
not.
and
It's
that's
not.
my point. How much more can we bash up
Yeah.
on this team? You know, I'm sick and tired of these buzz comments about Pasco and on his phone. Who
nothing
gives
to
a
do.
fuck?
Who
It's got
cares?
nothing
You
to
know?
do with it.
Or he was on the field with a muscle
Yeah,
shirt,
I know.
something. What's that got to do with tackling
I know,
and
what's-
running?
George,
and-
they're short on content, like you said. They're short on content.
They
But
sure
talk about kicking a team when they're down though, picking things like that and putting them on the back page as if it's a big news
I
story.
know.
That's just low.
I know.
I don't
he's,
get it.
He's in the change room. He's minding his own business while the coach addresses the team. It's probably a pretend I'm not here scenario. And they make a story out of it. I really don't get it. What do you want the CEO to address the team at halftime?
You know what?
I know exactly.
You know what? I can sort them out in 5 seconds. Okay, get a checkbook, put it in front of Phil Gould, sort me out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Bulldogs. You write the number in the whatever number you want, so you can come over and come and sort us out. Fixed.
You know that would be the best thing for your club, right?
What's that?
Well, Phil Gould, the teams only succeed after he leaves. Never happens while he's there.
True.
So let's move on. Let's move on to Sunday.
But you
Sharks.
but just back with Pascal quickly.
Yeah.
It just goes to show he's got some passion. Like he likes the club because he's always around. He wants to be in the
he likes
dressing
the
room.
club.
How many CEOs do that?
I'm not a fan of Pasco
Yeah,
based
me
on it, but I have to defend him in this.
Exactly,
in this one.
yeah,
Like, this is
exactly.
ridiculous.
No,
They're taking pot shots at him.
Mm.
You know, if you want to take shots at him as an administrator, we all have. Do so. But for crap like this, he's on the field 2 hours before the game. So fucking what?
And financially, they've made so much money the last couple of years, so he's doing well in the books, balancing the books. But anyway, let's go to the next
There's more issues.
So,
than Pascal.
blockbusters. Two absolute
The
crackers.
Sharks, weren't they leading 20-0?
Yes.
The Warriors won 32-30. Talk me through this one. Sean Johnson at his best again.
Did you watch it?
I watched it, and Webster has
Webster
what is
who?
what is
Webster
exactly
who?
Webster who?
What he's done to this team is amazing. If it keeps going, easy coach of the year.
Yeah.
And
He will
Sean
be.
Johnson's playing out of his skin. He's playing so well, but they didn't panic. They were down 20-0, and they still kept their composure. That's a Warriors. I've never seen that with the Warriors.
Never.
That's when you see them start throwing the ball around and getting panicking in that. But they were
Never.
just under control.
Never.
And that's a credit to Webster.
Nicola, you know what? When someone does an apprenticeship, 4 years in England, 2 as a head
Yeah.
coach, multiple clubs, either in pathways or assistant coach, and then to finish you off, go into a club like Penrith and learning a winning culture, you're ready. Okay?
Yeah.
We didn't know him.
They
We didn't know him.
They've picked up some good signings too, and he's getting the best out of them.
Well, yeah, look, the team is decent. I mean, Jazz, my God, I didn't know Jazz could play that well. We talked about, what's his name, the halfback,
Johnson.
Johnston, okay? The perfect balance of controlling a team and knowing when to run, okay?
Yeah.
And he's pulling, he's doing the what Chad done last year.
Yeah.
He's doing what Chad's done last year here, okay? And Nicola, you know what? Sharks came out.
Mm.
And they followed up last week against St George when they were just running and gunning.
Yeah.
Nico was just running and gunning. Everybody was following him. And you know what? Warriors took it back. Like, wow, what's happening here? It's all too quick for us. You know what I mean? But you know what? They were in the fight. They were still tackling. Okay, they were down 20
They
0.
clawed their way back.
It was a 20-0. 20-0, and they scored
Yeah.
last minute, just before halftime, didn't they? Okay, that was a very important try. It was all about the first try. They came back, the Warriors, and scored the first try. Okay, and then a couple of sets after that, I noticed they started grinding. They got into the grind. Okay, the minute I saw the Warriors get into the grind, I turned around to Anna, and she didn't give a flying fuck. I said, "It's over. Game's
They're a
over."
much more mature side this year, aren't
Yeah,
they?
absolutely.
Mature. I've never seen them. I've never seen a Warriors team mature. Even when they made the grand final, they were flamboyant.
2000
Okay.
whatever it was, 10,
Yeah, and that was with
11,
we should call-
2011, was it?
I don't know, but we should call him Supercoach. That was
Yeah.
with
Cleary.
Ivan again.
Yeah.
That was with Cleary again. Okay, they weren't even this structured then. They really weren't. So this Warriors team is real. It was an absolutely sensational game. How good was it to watch the comeback?
Two sin bins, 2 hip drops, 2 suspensions.
Yeah.
These
Okore and Finucane.
These are the issues which we should talk about more than about the game, in the sense that the Warriors are real. Okay, they're real, and they're going to make the 8. And I didn't see that coming. Okay,
Mhm.
Webster is going to be the coach of the year
Mhm.
for mine. Okay, but the hip drops, There are issues. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about them now or later, but
We'll cover
something
them. We'll cover
later.
them in the talking points. Yeah.
But you know what? Sharks tried to defend their line, tried to defend their score. They didn't attack at second half. If you're going to do that against the Warriors now, everybody learn. The Warriors are real.
Is there a concern Sharks' defence isn't that good because they've
Yes.
been leaking a lot of points?
Yes, and
And
that
Fitzy will be pissed because he was really angry with that at the semi-finals.
Yeah.
okay. Last year, we remember that they went into a shootout against South Sydney and they lost. Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
and this is what worries me. They can attack, but
Yeah.
they defense a little bit under not willing. But can I just say about what's our favourite winger? As I was trying to find
Molitano,
Oh.
Ronaldo.
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 Mm.
I mean, he was giving it to the opposition winger. Then all of a sudden, when they were losing, the winger was giving it to him. It was beautiful.
I love it.
It
That's
was
rugby
the
league theatre.
best.
Yeah.
It was the best. And you know, he had his head down, walking. I'm thinking, mate, if you got to give, you got to take it.
Of
Yeah.
course.
That was the best. It
He'd
was
do well
so-
at
that
penalty,
was-
wouldn't
that- yeah, he was.
Him and Luai.
That was for me. That was the highlight of the game. Him copying it. It was the best. It was the best.
George, let's save the best for last, mate. The Bulldogs.
What a,
What a field goal from Matt Burton to clinch it. Was it Golden Point?
it was goal.
Golden Point. Another Golden Point game.
It was Golden Point, Nicola. You know what? For 70 minutes or for 65 minutes, I didn't think for 1 minute that
Yeah.
the Dogs were going to win.
No,
I think
it was a bludger of a game.
it was a bludger
You
of the
just
game.
watching and going,
It was a
okay,
very
this-
wet game.
Yeah, it was.
It was
wet.
very wet, but it was a bludger of the game, and the Cowboys had him in the Malachi crunch, as I call it.
Mm.
Had him in the grind, and they weren't going to let go. But the last 10, 12 minutes, it was mayhem.
Mm.
Chips for Ado Carr, little breaks. Preston breaking his hand, and how good is he for a train and trial at the start of the year?
Wow, he's been amazing.
To split the webbing of your hand is how painful
Okay.
is that?
And then was the other guy who got his
In
eye
the eye,
poked
yeah.
out. It was
a
just
really gutsy performance.
it was just top things were toppling over. Then all of a sudden, Burton, who I said that hasn't had one good game for Bulldogs in the last 2 years, all of a sudden the abyss rises.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's shown, and not only kicks the field goal. Don't forget he kicked the goal to draw him up.
It was a great
Yeah.
field goal too.
It was a great field goal. It was a long way.
Long
out.
way, tough angle, not much
So-
time to pop it.
So before that mad 10, 12 minutes, you know what I was thinking? One of my favourite lines. I'm not going to get this 80 minutes back in my life.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
how boring. I was enjoying the grind until I wasn't enjoying the grind.
Mm.
Okay, I thought the Cowboys were in complete control, but these are the victories which change your season,
Yeah.
Nicola, and these are the season which defines your club. And can I say something? And going backwards, the Warriors, they're the wins that define your season.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the wins, and I suggest to you it was the best victory in their history of New Zealand or the Warriors' history.
Big call.
Okay, can you remember any other
Yeah,
victory like
oh,
that
that's
they've
pretty
done?
good.
I'm
The
flat out
last
remembering
15
victories, but yeah.
Okay,
Look,
And-
they've been in the grand final.
and they did make the grand final. They did
Yeah.
make the grand final. So maybe along that road they had a good victory. But look, I can't remember.
Certainly in
a
recent
just
memory, definitely.
recent
yeah.
memory, and that defines, I think, Webster as well.
Yeah.
And this
yeah.
is the same thing here. Depleted,
Yeah.
injured. I don't know how many on the bench. We've got a winger playing in the back row,
Yeah.
which got
Cowboys are
injured.
missing a few too.
Yeah, they are actually, and I was just going to say, Ruben Cotter's a massive.
He's back this week.
he's
Yeah, but they
thank
haven't
God.
been themselves all season yet.
They haven't, and what I told Artie, I'm going to tell you. You didn't hear, okay? Is Drinky coming back this week?
Yeah.
Okay, the team's going to change straight away.
Yeah. We'll
Oh
see.
yeah. Drink.
All of a
was the
sudden, them being I don't know, they're a bit off. Drinky comes in, and half their attack's going to come back, and we're going to say, oh look, how
And
come
Cotter.
that- yeah,
Two
Ruben.
big ins.
Yeah,
Their forward's
Cotter.
gonna.
I think Lukey's out.
Yeah, Lukey's out.
Big
yeah.
loss, Lukey.
Mm.
And is our favourite back rower out as well?
Nanai's out for another
Nanai's
week.
out.
Nice out, yeah.
Big loss, a big loss. But anyway, look, in some ways it was very enjoyable because we got a victory. The Bulldogs got a victory.
Do you think?
Pleasure.
Do you think the Cowboys might have put the cue in the rack after the last 10 minutes? Thought, oh yeah, we got this, and then it backfired
Maybe.
because they didn't expect Canterbury to be so good in attack because
you know
they
what?
just absolutely turned it around.
They spent a lot of energy grinding it out, and just going through the middle.
Yeah.
And they haven't got, beside Val, they haven't got any, without Drinky, they haven't got ex-players.
Yeah,
Who's their ex-player? Dearden played well.
Yeah.
Dearden played very well. But Dearden's not an ex-player, an X-factor player, really.
Yeah.
You've only really got 2 ex-players on the team, you know what I mean? Now, we've got, what, 1 maybe at Okar, if that. So, but anyway, I don't know how it happened, but we won.
That's good.
Look, sometimes all you need to turn things around is a drink of water.
And
So
that-
we'll
and
see
that-
what happens this week.
And that Preston guy, he played a big role in that last try because that ball, when he landed on the ball, that was going out. He could have easily been taken out. So he did well and
Preston
set up that
scored.
win. He was fantastic.
Preston scored 2 tries, and you know what? When I first saw him in round 1, I said, "Who's this bloke? Where they pick him up from Canterbury pub or something?" You know what I mean? Then I found out that he's on a train and trial, and I'm thinking, yeah, well, they'll get rid of him quick smart. But you know what?
He's doing well.
They're gonna lock him up long term. I suggest to you, Nicola. And what
should.
I see,
Absolutely.
what I
They
see, it's a shame he's not a junior. He's a thing junior. He's a Manly junior, I think.
Oh,
They
really?
got him from the lower grades there. But
Okay.
but that was a nice nightcap.
Mm.
That was a nice nightcap.
Let's go for the shootout.
Let's
Game
do
of the
it.
round.
Game of the round. My
That's
game
easy.
was Sharks Warriors, mate. That was just a
Warriors.
belter.
I have to agree with that.
Warriors.
Easy.
Yeah, Warriors.
Bludger of the round.
My bludger was Latrell Mitchell. Did he play?
Yeah, good. That's a good one.
I've got to
Nicola.
be honest with you. I struggled to pick a game that was a bludger of the round. I thought
What
they
about
were
a bludger player?
all,
Or bludger coach?
Well,
or bludger anything?
yeah, I don't know. Look, I struggle. I mean, they were all exciting for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Even the blowouts.
I didn't have a bludger really.
I don't have one this week.
I just want Latrell to put more effort in, man, because he's
Yeah.
bludging. That's my bludger.
What stood out this round?
Mate, I got a few for me. I got Sam Walker was tackling, like the way he defended. Matt Burton field goal from that angle he made it look so easy. He got it and he just kicked it beautifully. Payne Haas.
Oh,
That was an amazing. It was
Payne,
just,
Haas, all of them.
and it's it. That was for me.
George?
Those
Everything he said, and New Zealand.
Yeah.
Everything he said.
For me, it's Payne Haas.
Warriors.
Picking up the ball at dummy half and scoring.
yeah.
You know what? This Broncos team reminds me of the good old days.
Yeah.
Which they've got. They had an exciting fullback who can ball play, a massive front row, Glenn Lazarus, who just makes humongous meters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the ingredients are there. A very smart 5'8", a controlling halfback, the 2 centers, guns, a lock who should be the captain. They're outstanding. If they keep on improving, I just hope the cap doesn't rip them apart because they're losing Farnworth already, and I hope that it doesn't. What happened to Penrith? What's going to happen to Penrith soon? I hope it doesn't happen to them. I hope they all take unders and stay, because we'll be deprived of seeing something beautiful, and we can see something beautiful now, and I hope it continues. But let's remember they haven't played any of the top teams at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, and they haven't been put under pressure.
Yeah.
And they are very young.
Yes.
And it's a credit to Walters because he got rid
absolutely.
of a lot of dead wood,
Absolutely, yeah,
right?
yeah.
There was a lot of guys that were paid big dollars,
Absolutely.
like Lodge and all that, and he just sort of went, "Nah, this guy's not for the team." Bang, bang, got rid of all the dead wood, and he's making this Broncos look like the Broncos of the '90s, which he was a big part of. So it's a full credit to him.
Who gets the John Chris spray this week?
That guy who was in the bunker that disallowed that Newcastle try, mate, I want John Chris to absolutely spray the hell out of that guy because that was a try. That was
Georgie?
It was a try. Look, it's easy for me. Kenty and Ricky Stewart.
I'm going to go out of bounds this week. I'm going to go Paul Kent.
yeah.
He makes me sick. I'll say it again. He questioned Ivan Cleary's character and his fatherhood. You know, you're a dad as well. You got a son. Yeah, he has. He's an outstanding young man. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks, Paul. Thanks for telling us that he's a good guy. He's a good kid.
Yes.
Who's Manoli's player of the round? It's very hard to pick one this week.
Not really.
No.
Not really.
Oh, I don't know,
go.
man. Have we got the same one?
I'll go first.
You go first, mate.
You know what? He actually didn't lace up a boot. He didn't lace up a boot, and he stayed over. He didn't go back home. He's heard about the fries with the extra parmesan.
Yeah.
He's really excited. Webster Who?
Webster Who?
Webster Who? And that was actually.
He's not a player, George.
I know he's not a player. He's not a player,
Okay, all right.
but he influenced 15 players now in
Okay,
the quarter,
all right.
or 17 players. Okay, and that was a direct order from Manoli, actually.
Well, guess what?
What?
The guy I had, right, he's going to be joining Webster Who, and it's his little partner in crime, the number 7, Sean Johnson.
I can take a
who
cab.
rang up Manoli and said, does he do a honey? Does he bury it under the ground? You know, they do the honey there. So
Ah.
he's going to have a different style kebab there. I think
That's why.
Manoli's got him into digging holes down in the
Digging holes
backyard.
now.
So it will be interesting.
That's why he rang me to make sure that I picked Webster.
There
so
you
I
go.
can. There you go.
My player of the round looks like he hasn't stopped eating. Now, I could have chosen like any one of 5 or 6, so I am going to be a little bit biased here. I'm going to pick someone that most people probably haven't heard of, and his name was Winanu Greg, the front row for
Oh,
Parramatta,
yes.
who replaced Junior Paulo.
He was
That guy he didn't stop tackling. He was making he looked like another Junior Paulo. So I hope he continues like that because he had a really, really good game.
I noticed him. Is he a local product?
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
it's
I think he's a Kiwi. I think I'm not
Kiwi or-
sure.
I find it interesting that.
He's been there for about 3-4 years now.
Yeah, I find it interesting.
But
that-
he really stood out.
well, again, I find it interesting that you lost some forwards and
Mm.
you've brought ready-made forwards.
Well, he's been there for a couple of years
yeah,
already.
ready-made forwards, and either they knew something, either Parramatta knew something.
He got a couple of starts last year, 3 or 4. But he was outstanding. He made so many tackles, big tackles. He was working so hard that when he came off around about the half an hour mark, he was blown on the sideline. It took him about 5 minutes to walk off. The poor guy, he really worked his tail off. But
More power to him.
yeah, good
More
for
power
him.
to
So-
him. And you know what? Good pick, because I like when we highlight youngsters coming through. I think it's an important part
It
of
is
the game.
good.
Yeah. So let's go to some hot topics of the week, gentlemen.
Sure.
I don't want to go there again, but it's just you can't not the Tigers. What's the go with the Anzac jersey?
Oh, God.
So just for anyone who doesn't know, this is the latest. They announced their Anzac jersey for the Anzac round.
Yeah.
They're American soldiers on the jersey, which has nothing to do with Anzac Day.
How do you get that wrong?
I don't know. Someone got it wrong. And what made it even worse was that they chose John Bateman to model the jersey, an Englishman.
How do you get that
You don't
wrong?
have any Australians or New Zealanders in
New
your team.
Zealand.
So the club has apologised, backflipped, and they're redesigning the jersey.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
But it's
Wow.
just like it's a kick in the balls with everything that's already going wrong. You just don't need that.
No.
It's just
Look, when it starts raining, it pours
Yeah.
sometimes, and
Yeah.
everything they do is just diabolical. Not only on the field, off the field, and I don't know. I do not know where to go on the field. I just hope this 5-year plan from Sheen's works, because if not, imagine coming out of it 5 years with no difference. Mind you, you're going to destroy Benji, Farah, and you're going to destroy Sheen's legacy.
in my opinion, they have to be patient. Even the great Phil Gould, his 5-year plan at Penrith took 8 or 9 years.
Took 8 or 9 years,
Right.
it did, yeah.
And he said it himself. I don't know if you saw footage of him the other night on TV, but Phil Gould said, and he's absolutely right. He said, all the Tigers fans, you have to forget about the last 10 years. You have to forget about all this stuff. It's starting now, which means you got a few years of pain in front of you, but you have to start somewhere.
Well, he still says that about the Bulldogs. He still says
Yeah.
that there's a few years of pain in front of us before we get what we want. But when we get what we want, he goes, it'll be good for a decade.
Yeah.
So look, I just hope they go through all this process, and hit it, because to introduce a coach who hasn't been a coach really, and we look at Webster Who, who's
Yeah.
done his apprenticeship.
He was there, by the way.
Was he? Oh God.
He was at the Tigers as an assistant before
okay.
Penrith.
Okay, there you go.
Was it with Peyton as well?
Probably.
It was with Maguire.
Maguire.
So you might not remember this, but very early last season,
Mm.
might have been the season before, but I think it was very early last season. I called him out. I said,
Yep, I remember.
because I think Maguire had COVID, someone else had COVID, and
Yep.
this guy took the press
Presser.
conference.
Yep.
And I said, I don't know who this guy is, but he really impressed me in the pre.
Yeah, I
Do you remember
saying
that?
I remember you saying that. And I went back and watched the presser.
That's who it is.
Yeah,
So
it
he
was.
ended up at Penrith after that, and now he's coaching the Warriors. But while we're still on the Tigers, and we did touch on this before, the CEO storming a teacup. Really.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, when you're losing, people just target anything.
Big
The two
deal.
incidents at halftime, he's sitting in the corner on his phone. So
Whoopie
fucking what?
doo.
Yeah.
The
Whoopie
coach is
doo.
addressing the team. Like we said before, so what?
Yeah.
Someone took a photo of him 2 hours before the game on the field. So what?
Whoopie doo. Who
Wow.
brought it up? Buzz?
I can't remember, but it's
Slow-
just
slow Newsweek?
ridiculous. Yeah,
Slow
I mean,
Newsweek? Yeah.
come on. I mean, I'm as an administrator, I'm not a fan of his work. I think he needs to move on. I don't think he's doing the club any favors. But let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
This is pathetic.
Yeah.
He's done nothing wrong. Leave him alone.
My view, sorry, before you go, Adi,
Yeah.
my view is from top to bottom, they all should get stripped. Okay?
That club needs an enema.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It needs
Yeah.
more than that. It needs a fucking
Yeah.
nuclear bomb. But you know what? Again, slow news week. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was Buzz who brought all these things up. Buzz, get a life.
This will get you guys going.
Adi had something.
Oh, no,
sorry,
I was
Adi.
just going to say, man. Look, he's showing that he likes being around the players. Nothing wrong with that. Like, as a
Yeah.
player, if you see his CEO being part of it, yeah, you'd say, "Oh, well done, man. This guy actually cares about us." You know
Well,
what
he
I mean?
actually said himself in his own defence, he said, I wore the travelling polo that we wear when we travel. I like to go out and I don't mind putting out witches' hats or doing whatever. I mean, how can you knock him for that? Seriously.
Exactly. And if you look at the club's finances, a lot of clubs aren't making money, but the Tigers are, and they're playing terrible, but they're still
They
making
are.
money.
And
So he's doing something right in the finances, and
and-
that's dollars and cents in the end is what counts.
and he's not a footy guy. He's a corporate guy,
Exactly.
and that's what he's bringing to the club.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to insert a footy guy
Mm.
Yeah.
like a Phil Gould.
Yeah.
And we keep talking about cloning Phil Gould, but
Mate, I'm telling
they
you,
got
now-
their work cut out for him. That's for sure.
they do. But as a Saints fan, right, I'm telling you now, he's brought in, Tim Sheens, he had Maguire, he's had quality coaches. It's not as
Yeah.
if he's not doing the job. Like, he's trying to help them as much as he can, and he's
Ivan
making money.
Cleary.
Ivan Cleary. So I wish our CEO was
And
as
by the way-
proactive as he is.
And they've recruited well.
Exactly.
They
So
have.
that's what everyone forgets.
They have.
This time, like today, compared to this time last year, Charlie Staines, Brent Naden, Appy Coruscant, Papali, Clemmer. Who am I leaving out? There's a few that I'm leaving out. They've recruited well.
Yeah, they have.
Wakeham,
Mm.
where this is going, yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
know.
not getting the best out of their players. But that's another topic
Yeah,
anyway.
that's right, mate. Yeah.
We don't need to keep going on that.
Too
'cause-
hard basket
yeah.
and going at them is not helping anyone.
Do you think the media's putting a lot of pressure on?
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
happens when you
That's what
lose.
no, but from the players, imagine the players every
Yes.
time they're seeing
Yes.
themselves, and they're under pressure. We've got to do
Yes.
something. We've got to win. We've got to, you know what I mean? And it just makes
First-
it worse.
you know what?
First time since 1969 that a club has started back-to-back seasons 0-5.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Gee. You know what?
Didn't they win the comp in 68, 69?
Yeah, I think
Balmain?
one year they came last or second last, and they won the competition
Okay.
like that.
Mm. Yeah, you never know.
Anyway, let's amp it up again.
Hey.
Hip drop tackles.
Drop.
Let's talk about it.
Hip
Wow.
drop tackle.
What did we say over the weekend? Because I saw Nakore's one. I didn't think it was a hip drop, personally.
You know what? No one goes out deliberately to do a hip drop. I don't believe they do. Now others think. There's other journalists and other podcasts who think that they do it on purpose. I don't see that. The tackles that were performed over the weekend, were they penalties? Yes. I agree, they were penalties. They were penalties. Are they dangerous? Yes, they are. They are dangerous. As Nicholas said to me, but pre pod, every tackle's dangerous.
Every tackle's dangerous.
Every tackle's dangerous. Now, we're huffing and puffing and screaming and shouting for something which isn't an issue. Stamp it out now, okay? And if I see anyone coming from behind directly and hitting them, Nicola, okay, I'll go off my rocker as well with Buzz and everybody, okay? But you know what? I just see people just with momentum swinging around and getting caught in undesirable positions, you know what I mean?
Is it a case of over officiating?
Yes, and you know what the problem is, that we're going to miss these players for 2 or 3 weeks now because apparently they've killed some poor bastard. But yeah, potentially maybe, but I feel for them. I feel for the people who got cited.
You know what? Hip drop, chicken wing, cannonball, all came from. We know where it came from. It all came from somewhere, right? And now we're paying for it. We're over officiating now because of these ridiculous tackles that should have been stamped out many years ago.
Is that a crack, Arthur? Because we did title this "Storm in a Teacup."
Yeah, well, there you go. But if Saction was done back then to eradicate that sort of stuff and not reward people for bringing that shit into the game, then it would be. We wouldn't be seeing much of it, but
turn into something
you know,
else.
any other sport, you know, we would have seen more harsher penalties. But no, we just let it go on and we just build rules around it. So in case they do it,
we're going to see,
and they're back to their best now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So
we're going to see players doing lead drops soon.
Yeah, it's
on
just,
the field, but
there'll be a new tackle coming out soon. I'm waiting for it. It's
the league drop. We touched on it before. Jack Whiten. So Canberra have made him an offer. He's 30 years old. They've made him a 4-year, $4.4 million offer, which is $1.1 million a year. No brainer for me.
They've made a statement.
But apparently the Dolphins are prepared to talk turkey and possibly match or go better. What do you guys think?
Well, if he wants to win a premiership, he's not going to win one of the Dolphins. The teams that are coming in from the Dolphins, who else was it?
I don't think he's going to win one at either one of those clubs.
Any other club.
Disrespect.
So you might as well just stay at the Raiders, get your 1.1. It worked. He went to the market and he upped his offer by $200K. So good on him.
I don't know if you saw it, George, but that was another Paul Kent swipe on Monday night. Did you see that?
What did he say? No.
He attacked Jack Whiten.
Why? Why would you attack Jack Whiten?
Because he doesn't have a right to explore his options. He should stay at Canberra. And
Well,
why would you leave a club? Watch it. Go back and watch it. I can't say it's verbatim, but this is pretty much what he said. Why would you leave a club to win a premiership if you're just going to go and join a Roosters or someone like that, when even if you do win a premiership, you probably won't contribute to it. They would have done it anyway without you. There's an easy answer to that. Because he wants to win a premiership.
Well, a ring. Oh, my God. He had a shocker that night. Was that on the Monday night?
Monday night, yeah.
Yeah, he had a shocker.
Yeah, he's basically saying, why would you go and join a club that's odds on to win the comp just so you can win a comp? Duh. Hello.
Okay, let's break down.
Like really?
Maybe I'm 30 and I want to win one before I retire.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's break down. Break down, Jack. If he did that move for the money, well, tick. He's got the money. Okay. You know what? He's a Canberra boy. He's got a farm down there. He likes living there. Okay. He's the focal point of that team. Are they going to win the comp in the next 4 years? I suggest to you they got more chance than the Dolphins or Canterbury or most other teams. Okay, so you know what? Why not? He's got his bag now. He's happy. He's comfortable.
By the way,
stay there.
I don't know where Paul Kent pulled that from because none of the heavyweights have shown interest. Like Penrith or Roosters.
Exactly.
They can't pay $1 million for all their salary caps strained.
Block your ears. The Roosters can pay whatever.
Maybe
they
the
want.
Roosters can. Maybe he'll take unders.
I'm only kidding, mate.
He'll go there for
Arthur's
600.
changing colour,
He'll
guys.
go there for 600. He'll go for unders. But regardless of that, okay, he did the move. You know what? For Canberra, okay, they're playing unders for him.
Yeah.
He's a Canberra boy, and they're going to build a team around him. They're not going to put him at 4. They're not going to put him at 1. They're going to put him at 6, the focal points. So, and you know what? He's an international player.
I just figured it out.
What's that?
When's Suwali finishing? When is he going
At
to
the end of next year.
Yeah, 2 years.
And when does Whiten's contract finish?
This year.
Oh,
yeah.
well, mate, why does he sign a 1-year
No,
extension?
sorry. He has next year as an option, but he hasn't taken it up.
So
Well,
if
what
he
do
takes
you-
next
what do you
year as an
think?
option, and then he can go to Roosters and take Suwali's spot in
yeah,
centres.
but you know what?
Win the
you know
comp,
what?
come back.
That's it.
I reckon Joey Manu will go into the...
He's fullback. He'll take Teddy's spot when he retires.
Teddy's there for another 2-3 years.
Yeah, I know, but once he finishes, Suwali wasn't going to get any. I was going to be
And just
Manu.
another thing that I hate, but people saying, Well, he can't go here and play centre because he's on 1.1. That's not centre money. I hate that statement. Doesn't matter what position you play, you're worth whatever they're willing to pay you, period.
Yeah.
You can't pay. No, he's not a fullback. You can't pay him that money to play on the wing. Well, why the hell not? Some of the best players we've seen are wingers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's just me.
Is Jack going to stay?
I reckon he will.
Yeah, I think so.
Is Jack gonna
I
stay?
reckon it was a smart move from his
just
manager
upped
to
his
get
money.
him. Yeah,
Got a couple
exactly.
$100,000.
For Campbell.
And you know what?
What's that?
The Supercoach has been around the game longer than anyone,
Mm.
but they're all playing him to get better deals to stay where they are.
He said it.
Mm.
They're all playing him.
Oh, you got to watch
Wayne Bennett.
You got to watch the series on Stan.
Yeah.
He actually said that. People were, players were knocking
I haven't
him
checked
back.
that out.
Oh,
yet.
it's
I
so good.
will.
Players are knocking him back, and he goes to his his recruiter. He goes, "You do realise they're all just playing us to get more money in their NRL teams."
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, I know. Peter, someone was with him. You know what I mean?"
Peter
So
O'Sullivan.
you got to Sullivan.
Yeah.
You got to watch it. It's
I
so
will.
good. He goes behind
I
the
will.
scenes.
I will.
I enjoy the training that they do.
Yeah.
Arthur, tell us about Michael Maguire.
Yeah, he's signed up for the New Zealand head coaching role till 2025,
So
which
he's
is the World Cup.
extended, so
he's
it's good to
extended,
see.
which is good to see.
Bravo.
Great coach.
They're happy
and,
with him?
Good to see him go stay at the Warriors. At New Zealand.
No, bravo.
And you're going to give us a dream team this week.
I was, yeah. George sent me a message. He goes, "Oh, mate, can you give me a dream team?"
This is Ask Artie.
Ask Artie.
Ask
It
Artie,
is.
the
yeah.
dream
And-
team.
and he
Sorry,
wanted
my
to-
apologies. Let me backtrack. Our Ask Artie segment.
Wow.
You're going to give us a dream team. I jumped the gun.
I can't wait for this.
Well, you know what happened? George just sends me a message. He goes, "Mate, we want a dream team." So, mate, making a dream team to me is impossible.
Yeah.
Right? So I just picked a year. I just plucked the year out, and I go, I'm going to pick a team of the year for 1990. Right now, this is my team, but I'm going to give you the options. Right. So for fullback, right, these are the options we had. I had Gary Belcher, Matt Ridge, Tim Brasher, Gary Jack, Mick Potter, Glenn Lydiard, Tony Iro, Rod Silver, or Jonathan Docking. Now, who would you have picked out of that? I picked Gary Belcher.
You didn't have Scott Mahon?
No, he wasn't there. He's not a 19.
He's on the bench.
That's a joke.
But I picked Gary Belcher. Do you agree with that one?
Pretty hard to go past him.
Pretty hard.
If it was a couple of years later, I would have said Brett Mullins. But
What, Matt Ridge?
I
Brasher?
was thinking. I was
Jack?
thinking.
Ridge peaked a few years later.
But Gary
Did he?
Jack?
Yeah,
Ridge
4.
peaked in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking overall. This is a dream team. So
Yeah,
don't
okay.
look at just the year.
I'm sticking with Belcher.
Yeah, me too. Mr. Reliable to me.
Yeah,
He never made one error.
Tim
Like,
Brasher was really good also.
He was good too.
I was
But I'm
thinking
sticking-
Brasher.
I'm
and Gary
sticking with
Jack and
Belcher.
Potter. So that's
Jack.
Yeah.
that's 5 good players,
Jack.
good
Yeah.
fullbacks.
I'm still going with Belcher.
You sticking with Belcher?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Would you consider Greg Alexander as a fullback for that time period?
No,
Well, he did play fullback but I got him as a
Warriors.
half. So
Okay.
okay.
I'm going with Belcher.
Belcher? We agree with Belcher?
I'll just agree, but yeah.
Okay. Now, with the wingers, right, I didn't put too much of a list there. I got Rod Wishart, Chicka Ferguson, Willie Kahn, Michael Hancock, Kerry Bousted, Ricky Walford, and Ainscough.
Oh,
I went for Rod Wishart and Chicka Ferguson. Speed merchants and kicker.
I'm sorry. Can you run through that again? Sorry.
Rod Wishart,
Yeah.
Chicka Ferguson, Willie Kahn, Michael Hancock, the Brisbane duo at there, Kerry Bousted, Jamie
Bowie.
Ainscough, and Ricky Walford.
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 I have to go Rod Wishart,
Wishart.
and I don't know which one, but it's either Kahn or Hancock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Morris.
Chicka Ferguson? He was a little
No.
dynamite. I
Yeah,
love
he
Chicka.
is. But at the end of the day, his highlight reel for me is just one try in the grand
Oh,
final.
really?
Yeah.
I remember him in Newtown.
Willie
He
Kahn,
was a gun at Newtown.
Willie Kahn and Michael Hancock.
Yeah, they were good.
phenomenal. And Wishart was just, especially in Origin, he was just
Wishart.
a warrior.
Wishart Hancock. Yeah, you're right.
Mate, this is the one that's going to have you guys thinking. Ready? Now, for centre, I've got Mal Meninga, Laurie Daly, Mark Coyne, Gene Miles, Michael O'Connor, Paul McGregor,
Oh, what are you doing to me?
Tony Iro, Darren Smith,
Oh,
E.T., Mark McGaw, Terry Hill, Andrew Farrer, and Michael Beattie. Like, that's a gun.
For me,
They were all playing that year.
did you say,
all these guys
did you
were
say
playing.
1990?
1990.
So for me, a bunch of those players peaked a couple of years later. A bunch of them peaked a couple of years earlier.
Yeah, but who would you pick overall?
Mal Meninga
yeah.
and... So, hang on a second. Mal Meninga has to be. He was the Kangaroo captain.
Yeah.
Gene Miles.
And Gene Miles, that's who.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now Gene.
I went
Too
out
massive.
of the box here because I love these two guys. I went Laurie Daly and ET. I don't know.
See,
maybe
for
'cause
me,
of-
Laurie
Yeah,
Daly,
yeah,
Laurie
no,
Daly
no.
for me,
he's one of my
5'8".
favourites.
for me, Laurie Daly's a 6.
He's
Yeah,
my
5'8".
favourite. Yeah, I know. But they had
Yeah.
him as a centre, so most of the
Miles and Meninga. Yeah.
The
Queensland
origin
centres,
squad, yeah.
Yeah.
the origin team.
Look how sport we were for 5'8". We had Brad Fittler, Kevin Walters, Wally Lewis, Cliff Lyons, Terry Lamb, Phil Blake, Brett Kenny, Steve Carter,
God.
Jason Taylor, and Mitch Kenny. Like nearly every team had a star 5'8".
But Brett Kenny morphed into a lock
Yeah.
the following year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I went Brett Kenny anyway because for me he was a 5'8". But
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was. I'm just saying, these last 2 years he played lock.
sure.
How can I not pick Bert? I have to.
You got it.
I'm going to pick Bird. I'm picking Bird.
Ahead of Terry Lamb?
Yeah. My favorite duo
if-
was Sterling and Kenny.
If we're not going on, like you said, it could be.
And at his best.
At his best. At their
his
best.
For me,
It's our
Brett
dream
Kenny.
team.
For me, it's Brett Kenny.
Okay. There you go.
Wasn't Ricky Stewart playing? Yeah, he was.
He was a 7.
It's a 7.
Oh,
Now,
7.
I'm going to read the 7s now, right? There was 16 teams in the comp.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to read about 12 halves now, which are gold. You got Ricky Stewart, Greg Alexander, Alan Langer, Jeff Tuvey, Craig Coleman, Peter Sterling,
Oh,
Scott Gale. I love Scott Gale. Ivan Henjak, Mick Neal, Ewan McGrady,
Joel McGrady.
Yep.
Daliemi for
Gary Freeman, and Laurie Spooner from Norths. Now,
I have to go
Sterlo.
Sterlo.
It's got to go Sterlo.
When I
but-
think of
but how
McNeil,
quality?
when
Look
I
at the
think of
quality.
McNeil, I think of him tripping over in the grand final with an open try line in front of him.
He was a good player.
Ewan McGrady was great for 5 minutes.
1 year.
There's a lot of players there. That, I have to go Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling Kenny.
I can't
Yeah.
not.
Sterling
That's it.
Kenny.
And you do realise we picked Brett Kenny ahead of Wally Lewis
Yeah,
in
yeah.
5'8".
No.
So
Well,
that's a big
just
call.
here's a
Yeah.
stat for you. The
He's a
only
lock.
man ever to keep Wally Lewis out of an Australian side.
There you go.
Brett Kenny at 5'8".
Yep.
Oh, Kenny was a better player.
Mm.
A better player for sure. No,
Yeah.
no.
Did you know that? He was the only man to
Yeah,
ever keep Lewis out of an Australian side.
Yeah, yeah.
There
No,
you go.
Brett Kenny as a player, ball in hand, much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
For lock, guys, I've got Wayne Pearce, Brad Mackay,
Stop right there.
Bradley Clyde.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm going to Hugh McGahn, who's one of my all-time favourites, Billy Moore, Des Hasler, and Bob Lindner.
I really liked Bob Lindner.
He was
He
great.
played at Para for 5 minutes. Brad Clyde is my favourite lock of all time.
Yeah, he was great. But
That's amazing.
That's why I said stop right there.
yeah,
Brad Clyde is my favourite lock
me
of all
too.
time.
I'm a Clydie man.
And I always give con shit because I always say former Canterbury legend Brad Clyde. He's going to love me for that.
I went Brad Mackay. I think
Oh, he's your,
he was
he's your
Mr.
man.
Utility. Yeah, I
He's
loved
your
him. But
man.
Hugh McGahn is another one I loved.
Hugh.
We were talking about that off air just before. Telling you how much I liked Brad Mackay.
Mm,
I really did. But
He
I
was-
can't put him ahead of Brad Clyde. I'm sorry.
gold. Second row, we've got Paul Ciro. Geyer, Mark Geyer, Paul Langmack, Gillespie, Davidson, Carroll,
Oh.
Gary Larson, Roberts, Goulet, Gavin Miller, John Cartwright, Paul Dunn, David Barnhill, Fullerton
Hoss-
Smith.
Hoss Cartwright.
I got
I went Mark Geyer and
mine's
Miller.
easy. Mine's Mark Geyer and Paul Sirinen.
Yeah.
Paul Sirinen, I know that he was good week to week, but when that guy put a blue jersey on, he went to a whole new level.
Yeah.
For me, Siren and Roberts.
Yeah. Siren and Roberts?
Roberts was
Yeah,
front row,
Roberts was
wasn't he?
good.
Was
Well,
it-
they got him in second row. They had him
Okay.
as second. And I had Gavin Miller for mine. Gavin Miller and Geyer. So we all went Geyer. We all loved
You
Geyer.
could pick 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
could
know.
pick through
All
all
that
of
was
them.
tough.
All
That
of
was
them.
tough. The hooker, we had Stevie Walters, Benny Elias, Mario. Stop there for me, Benny Elias. Anyway, Mario Fenech, Jeff Tuvey, Billy Johnston, Roy Simo, Sedaris, Skiffalidi, and Sean Garlick. So
Skiffalidi, yeah.
Skiffalidi was good.
Very good.
I went
He,
Ben Elias.
I'll go
He's a
Benny.
player manager now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Skiffalidi?
Yeah.
I can't go past Benny Elias.
Yeah.
Steve Boxhead was great,
Yeah.
Mm.
but I can't go past
Well,
Benny Elias.
Benny revolutionised half. He was a 5'8". You know what? Biscuits just wanted him in the team. He was a 5'8".
Yeah.
Okay, and he goes, let's try him at hooker. So Benny just played 5'8" in hooker.
Boxhead was a great hooker,
He was.
right? And Elias was just as great. Maybe Waters was a better hooker than Elias.
As a hooker, yeah.
But Elias played the mind. He played the game. He played the mind games.
Yeah.
he could infuriate 13 players
Oh, yeah.
and turn the game on its head. There's a funny story where I can't remember who it was. It might have been Mario Fennick. I can't remember. But someone was mouthing off at Elias, and Roach said to Elias they were packing down for a scrum. And Roach said, just throw the first one. Just throw the first one. So they pack down the scrum. Elias throws the uppercut. Next thing you know, it explodes. But I can't go past Benny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
no, I'm with you.
fantastic. And to round it off, guys, our props, we've got, there's a tough group here. We've got Lazarus, Roach, Pay, Gillespie, Harrigan, Butterfield, Bella,
Oh, my
Jarvis, Sam
God.
Bacco,
Oh,
Peter
my.
Kelly, Paul Tunks, Peter Tunks,
How are we supposed to pick?
Sergeant Salvatore,
Oh,
and Todd, Brent Todd.
And you know what?
No power plays.
But can I? Can
He
I?
didn't have any.
This was this.
No,
this,
they were
this
horrible.
is-
His were horrible.
No.
This list. What Arthur's got even supports my argument about how many players coming through then and now. I mean, what he just said there in
Yeah.
the front rowers. Let's go through the front rowers of today and
Yeah.
see if they're of that
I'm
quality.
Exactly.
gonna go Roach and Lazarus.
I'm going Lazarus and Roach too. That's what I went.
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
even all the positions,
all
George,
of
the amount of quality that was
Yeah.
back in 1990.
absolutely.
And one stat I just wanted to show you guys, right? In 1990, right, there was 176 games and 986 tries, right? So
Wow.
that's average of 5.6 tries a game. 2020, right, we've got 192 games, 1,461, 7.6. So 2 more tries per game
really.
in 2020 than there were in 1990. Oh, I thought it was opposite. I thought there was more
Yeah,
tries
but you
back
know
then.
what? If you're,
It's surprising,
if you're
isn't it?
watching soccer, which games are more entertaining, the 2-1s or the 4-3s?
Hmm.
Like for me, as a fan,
Yeah,
it's the 2-1s.
the 2-1s, yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
It's true.
The funny thing is that and you guys remember better than me, so you tell me. But the one difference that I think about when I do a comparison is back then, picking the Origin sides was so difficult. Look
Mm.
at all the names you just rattled off.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But you had to do it, and you had great players who didn't play.
Mm.
Whereas today, they don't do it off position. New South Wales is going to
Yeah.
have 3 fullbacks on the field.
That's
I
true.
gotcha,
Yeah, you're right.
No
gotcha.
wingers are going to get picked
Mm.
Yeah, gotcha.
because we've got to fit 3 fullbacks in.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, sorry, mate. You know what I
We've gone
mean?
this fullback, yeah.
At least that's how I remember it. That's how I
Exactly.
remember
Yeah,
it.
no,
You're spot on.
No, like I said, look at all the front rows. Who's going to get picked?
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, no, I hear
That's a
ya.
good job, Artie.
That was
And you
good.
know what? You picked a really good year as
Yeah.
well.
I know, it was
Oh,
just out of nowhere.
yeah.
I reckon any year I would have
Next
picked.
time, go about 4 years earlier.
Yeah,
But it's
okay,
all right.
I'll go
Well,
80s.
that's
I'll
all
go
right.
85. I'll go 85. But yeah, and who do you reckon? What was the top 4?
What was the top
Wow.
four?
Okay, wait a second.
Pick the
Stop,
top 4.
stop. I don't know the order, but let me take a rough guess here.
Penrith.
Penrith and Canberra
Penrith,
were in the
Canberra.
grand final.
They were in the grand final, yeah.
St George in the top 4?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. 1990.
1990.
Let me think of the Kangaroo Tour.
Tigers. They just squeezed in. That's
Come on,
right.
mate. Really,
Nah,
guys?
No, they lost the grand final the year before.
Let me just, I'll just read some players out. Langer, Hancock.
Broncos
Willie
and
Carnes.
Broncos.
They had the gun side, man. They had,
Yeah, I know,
they,
but they didn't win it for 2 years though. That's why.
they were second. They finished second.
That's amazing because that was their 3rd year.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
they finished second, and it was Canberra first,
Yeah,
then Brisbane, Penrith, and Manly.
I was half right.
Manly, Tuvey, Hasler,
You know what?
Roberts.
Up until a few years ago, Manly were always up there. Always, every single year,
Yeah.
every year.
Who got the wooden spoon? Just last one.
Tiger, West.
Wasn't Para?
It wasn't Parrot. No.
Was it West?
Nope.
No, West had a pretty good team in 1990.
Did they?
West
Yeah,
came
they-
13th.
Yeah, but they had the Terry Hills and the Dimmicks and those guys who.
No, Hill was at Manly.
Was he already at Manly?
Manly?
Okay, so maybe it was a year earlier then.
They had Doherty. They had a few of those guys, the old guys. But
So they what year did John Dory?
I think it was before that.
Okay,
But-
I actually went out with his niece Irene.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Irene, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Well, the team that came last with only 2 wins was South.
The bunnies.
Yeah, that was shit.
That's
they
right.
Had, they
Did they
had,
get kicked out before then?
Craig Coleman,
Craig
George.
Coleman.
Remember? Tugger. You know where I'm going, don't you? Right? Poor old Tugger showing up at training,
Poor Tugger.
climbing the trees, trying to get a
Was
look
that,
in.
was that when Langback was coaching them?
Langwick was playing.
No,
Was he?
Yeah, Langwick was
wasn't that
playing.
when Bob McCarthy coached him, but then he quit early in the
might have.
season? Bob McCarthy.
Probably.
He coached 5 or 6 games.
Is that when Tugger lost his job?
I don't
He was
know.
in the car park watching
remember
him
that?
train.
Yeah, you
I
remember that?
That was a G-man story.
in the car park, climbing the trees. Poor Tugger.
From memory, I think he was playing. I've got him listed as a half.
Tugger
Craig Coleman, he was playing.
What,
must
yeah,
be
what,
a couple of years ago
Phil
after.
Gould played the year before for
Yeah, it
South.
was
Did he?
1990.
89, right?
Yeah, this is
Wasn't Phil Gould
1990.
there? Didn't they win the minor premiership in 88, 89? One of those years?
One of those years, yeah. And
How- and then they got the spoon.
They got bundled out.
They got the spoon a year
After
later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it must have been Phil Gould's.
No. What are we talking about? Phil Gould started coaching in 88.
88, yes.
But he was
Yes.
there a few years before, though.
I'm lost with you. It was
Wasn't
a long
he?
time ago. It was a
Yeah.
long
Didn't he
time
play
ago.
for South as well?
He played for South. He had a season, I think.
Yeah.
Artie, that was really good. I enjoyed
was
that.
fun,
Maybe
wasn't it?
we should do that again.
No
Like
worries,
from
man.
Different decades.
80s. I'll do the 80s next. 85.
That'll be even harder.
Oh, yeah, 85. Yeah, that's a winner.
That'll be even harder. Let's look at the weekend that's coming up.
Sure.
And I've got a surprise announcement.
Mhm.
Tomorrow night's Thursday, and Parramatta's not playing.
Yay!
All right.
Nah, you know what? I'm disappointed this week. I
Why?
reckon St George has been robbed
Why? Why is
because
that?
we're playing a team after a bye.
What?
That's crap, man. How
We
come we
just-
playing the?
We just did that 3 weeks in a row.
I was waiting for a bite. I went
Bastards.
fishing. I went fishing. There you go.
You know what? Storm Roosters are kicking us off tomorrow night, and I really don't know. I'm going to go the Roosters, but I don't know what to expect.
Oh,
It's in
right.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
You know what?
Jerome Hughes is still out, isn't he?
Jerome Hughes is back.
Back.
Oh, he's back.
He's been named. Yeah.
That makes it even tougher.
Teddy's out. Manu's at fullback. Brandon Smith facing the Storm for the first time, and they're all
You-
gunning for him.
You're going to laugh at me. You're going to laugh at me for saying this. I don't think they're going to miss much with Manu moving a fullback.
No, exactly.
I mean, Teddy's Teddy. Don't get me wrong.
But they lose him in the centres. That's the only thing. Brandon Smith though facing his Storm, and they've all already said they're out to get him. So it's going to be a good little fiery game. But
I'd like to see someone hit him nice and hard.
I'm going the Chooks, mate.
I'm going to Chooks.
Yeah.
George?
You know what? I'm going to go the Chalks with no real confidence because you know what is Melbourne nearly back to full beside Pappenhausen? Are they nearly back to
They're
full?
not far
strength?
off. They're not far off.
Anyway, look, I'll go the Chalks.
Corey Oates is not Corey Oates.
And
Xavier Coates is back.
Yeah.
Remus Smith, Justin Olam.
Yeah.
They got all this.
Yeah, they're
back.
pretty. Yeah, now they got
This
Jerome
Warbrick
Hughes.
guy's not bad. Where'd they find him? He's pretty
So they'll
good.
have Munster and Hughes together again for the first time
Yeah.
in a month.
Jared's playing for the
I'm still
Roosters.
going to go the Roosters though.
Oh, the role model isn't playing.
Oh, yeah.
Solomon or whatever his name.
Solomona.
Yeah, he's the clean skin.
Big loss. Big
Never,
loss.
never gets Simbindu
No,
suspended.
Never.
Who are you going for, George?
The
Chooks?
the Chooks, yeah,
Chooks?
Chooks.
3 Chooks.
Good Friday, 4 p.m. We'll be watching this one at my place. George, Bulldogs, Rabbitohs. I'm sorry, but I have to go the Rabbitohs in this one.
Yeah, look, me too. It's always a hard-fought game. This wherever
You
wherever
guys
they are,
are depleted in the forwards.
Yeah, they're
very
good.
bad,
They're
yeah.
depleted a lot.
very
yeah,
bad.
And
I think 11's out. I think 11. I was hearing 11 are out. You know what? We might battle. We
Yeah.
might battle.
Latrell's due for a big one. He's been quiet, so I think this is the one he's going to
And it's
come
usually a fiery clash
Yeah.
too, this one.
up. Yeah.
Well, that's what. You know what? Latrell is an emotional player, as Artie and me call him. We'll say there's either E's or C's, and he's an E. Okay, so
He's both.
I don't think he's both.
Okay.
I think he's one because if it was a C, he'll be more like Finucane there all the time, like on the ball, because he's an actual C. But he's a very emotional, charged man, and so is Cody. Okay, so I'm hoping something does happen, so he does play well.
I've got to be honest with you guys, and you're going to both want to bash me for saying this.
Why is that?
I think this game will tell us more about the Dogs than the Rabbitohs. And with the expectation being where it deserves to be, because they are so depleted,
Yeah.
right? I think South could win this game 36-6,
Yeah.
and that's not going to tell me anything about South.
Yeah.
I need to wait until next week.
Yeah.
With
I
no
gotcha.
disrespect to the
No,
Bulldogs.
I got you.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
playing a Reggie team. They're
Mm.
playing a Reggie team, basically.
I think we're all going to Rabbitohs.
We're all going to
Yeah.
Rabbitohs, yeah.
Cowboys, Friday night, Cowboys hosting the Dolphins. Interesting one. I think the Cowboys, they're still missing a few, right?
Yeah.
Well, they've lost Milford now, and Nicaragua's coming in the halves.
The
So
Dolphins.
it's-
But the
yeah.
Cowboys, they're still missing a few. right?
Cowboys are getting they're getting
Well, you said
Drinky and
Drinkwater's
Cotter
back.
back.
I'm going to tip the
They're
Cowboys
missing
at home.
Nanai, they're missing.
I'm going to tip the Cowboys at
and
home because they're due. This is one they'll be confident going into,
Yeah.
and they need a win.
The Dolphins are depleted too, mate.
Yeah.
They've lost
Yeah.
quite a few. So I'm definitely going Cowboys.
George?
Up there, Drinky's back. He's
Yeah,
gonna
Drinky's
make a
back.
massive difference. Deer and Chad's. He'll even change Chad. People are sort of throwing darts at Chad. Look, I don't know these forwards. Who's done?
He looked all right. He's
Okay.
actually not a bad player. Yeah.
Reese.
You, you don't know who Dunn is?
No.
He's the son of Mr. and Mrs. Dunn.
Oh, well, I love him then already. He's a champion for me. Cotter's
Paul
back.
Dunn's son. You know Paul Dunn, the player.
Is it really?
No, just
You got me excited because I used to love Dunny.
yeah.
Ruben Cotter's back.
Yeah, I know. He's going to be enormous. Tamalolo.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. There's only one winner in this game.
Cowboys.
Yeah. There's only one winner here.
This next game, like 5:30 Saturday, I'm expecting an absolute cracker of a game. The Panthers hosting Manly.
Mm.
I'm going to tip Penrith.
Oh wow!
But that should be a really good game.
Fisher Harris is out for Penrith. Saab and Schuster are back for Manly.
Schuster's a big in.
Schuster's a huge
Yes.
in.
Yeah.
I'm going Penrith. They're looking like they're coming back to their best.
Half price favourites at $1.36. The Seagulls are at $3.20.
Yeah, I understand that one.
George?
I really Sonny Luke's on the bench. Big thing. I really want Penrith to win and Penrith to win well. I don't expect that to happen. I think it's going to be a close fought game. It's at Penrith Park, so I'm going to pick Penrith. But you know what? Manly actually need to bounce back as well because they leaked last week. We can say the game was great and it was exciting, but they leaked 32 points, Nicola.
Saturday night, Broncos are hosting the Raiders. This could be a bloodbath.
Broncos
Or the Raiders could turn around and really... I'm tipping the Broncos. I think
Yeah,
everyone is.
they're
But
just phenomenal, that
yeah,
team. Schneider's in for Whiten. So they had some other guy last week and they dropped him.
yeah.
That Frawley guy. They dropped Frawley and brought in Schneider. He's a young kid. Broncos, same 17. Unbeatable at the moment.
George?
Broncos are the best team in the comp at the moment.
Yeah.
So there's your tip.
They'll win. I'm hoping the Raiders improve. I hope they don't fall off. I just do not know where they're at. The Raiders don't know where they're at.
Easter Sunday, 4 p.m. up on the Gold Coast. They're $1.77 favourites against the Dragons, who are $2.05.
I don't understand that one because they've got no Brimson
I'm
and
going the
Foran.
Dragons. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
one.
Losing 2 out of 4 of the spine, Brimson
Yeah.
and Foran. I'm surprised that they're there. They've got 2 youngsters playing in the halves. If Saints don't win this, then
No, I'm definitely going the Dragons in this one.
yeah, I've got to go the Dragons.
Especially on the back of last week.
Yeah, Amoni retained his spot. Sullivan's on the reserve, which is a pity. Yeah, he's on because Amoni's playing at 6,
Oh, okay.
so he's not starting Sullivan.
Okay. At least he's on the bench. Yeah. Look.
He's not on that bench, reserve.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a reserve.
Okay. I'm with you guys. I'm picking the Dragons. But you know what? Don't underestimate the Titans.
Yeah, I know.
No, I won't. But
This is usually a hard game
Exactly.
for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
the next one could
9th
be
versus 10th.
the next one could be the tightest game of the round.
Yes.
Newcastle hosting the Warriors.
I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, it's probably going to be one of the
I'm really looking forward to this game.
closest games, I think, out of the lot.
I've
yeah.
gone the Warriors.
Tyson Gamble's out for the Knights, and Ukura is out for the
big
Warriors.
loss.
And you know who's in? Tohu Harris and Tamari Martin. in the
Tomorrow,
back.
Martin.
So you'd think the Warriors, Webster Who has got to have them up there, definitely.
There'd be
What-
no shame in the Knights losing as long as they're
Oh
not
no,
blown away.
absolutely.
No. And what was Leslie Axe back on the bench by the looks of it?
Replacement, yeah.
You know what? What I've seen in terms of form, and I don't write off Newcastle because they're the Pod's fun team of of the year. I'm picking the Warriors because what I've seen, but I'm going to sit down on this Sunday night. I'm going to sit down Sunday night, and I'm expecting to be detained thoroughly.
Yeah, for sure.
And the last game of the round, closing it out, Easter Monday, the Tigers hosting the Eels and Homebush. I think I'm going the Eels.
You know what? I really
It's impossible to tip the Tigers at this point.
Yeah, I really don't want it to be a Monday massacre. I really don't want it to be. I know you do. I don't want it to be a Monday massacre. I have a fear it might be. But as you said, they're untippable. The West Tigers are untippable.
Yeah. I've got Staines named at fullback, so Dewey's moving back
Dewey's
to 5'8".
back to 6, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Naden's in the centres. And Pasco will be in the phone again, and Laurie will be liking other teams' tries on Instagram. So that's the team changes there. Simonson's out for Para, and Blake has been dropped
Yeah, it's about time.
for Russell. Sean Russell's playing in the centres.
Which a month ago they were saying he was out for the season
yeah,
with a shoulder injury. So I don't know what's happening now.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So they found out that it's not going to get any worse. He has to have an operation.
Okay.
Okay, but that's going to be out most of the year. So they reckon, well, he can't get any worse.
If he's able to play.
So they
Yeah.
inject him.
Okay.
He can play, and in the off season he'll have an operation, and
Okay.
he'll miss a month at the start of next year. They say
Fair enough. He could miss a month at the
but-
end of this year when Paraday make the 8.
maybe. But at his best, he's very good.
Well, we haven't seen much
Sean
of
Russell, isn't he?
him. Last year in the first game, which we were at against the Gold Coast, he was out for the season.
That's right. That's who he is.
He scored a hat trick, and then he got
That's who
injured.
he is. You know what? I'm thinking of Dunstan. I thought when we
Yeah,
said
he's playing as well.
when we said Russell, I was
Dunster,
imagining
yeah.
Dunster. Okay, because he's very good. And both of them, they're local juniors, if I'm not wrong.
Apparently.
And both of them have come from that same team.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
We'll see.
Because look at this, Adia. We got it up on the computer. Okay, look at when you go Wilper Nassini, Russell, Dunstan, Brown, Mitch. I mean, that's the future of the club.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They're doing
Yeah.
well. They're doing well again.
very well.
Now, before we go to Artie's spam mail, we've got a couple of fan questions.
Okay, sure.
So the first one's from GB.
Hey, GB.
And it's 3 questions in one. So first question is, what's next for the Raiders? How can they attract talent to the national capital? Do they look at Super League like they have in the past? And should they stick with Ricky?
Oh wow.
So let's unpack that. So what's next for the Raiders? How can they attract talent to Canberra? That's been their biggest Achilles heel.
No one's
The people just don't want to live in Canberra for some reason,
Yeah.
which is why they've been successful going to Super League because,
Don't even know what Canberra
But,
is.
but
well,
they've,
they're
got,
used to the cold conditions and whatnot
Yeah.
in England.
they've got a young side, a young spine in Savage. Everyone's forgetting Savage.
Yeah.
When he comes back,
Yeah,
he's
he's
going to
gonna
make a
come back,
massive
yeah,
difference.
yeah.
Then you got Whiten, you got that Schneider guy, you got Fogarty. I think that's a good halves, and their hooker's a young guy too, Wolford and
Simon
So-
Wolford's son.
yeah, I know they're a young spine. They
Yeah.
just need time. A couple of the old guys, Papali'i and that are getting a bit long on the tooth. I'm sure they'll go into English Super League and perch it because that's what they
Yeah.
do best,
Yeah.
and they succeed. So that's what's next for them. I think to replace the old guys, they're going to go to Super League, and that's how they're going to attract them back here. How long they stay for, though, that's the problem because they usually stay a couple of years and then want to leave, but still.
George, should they stick with Ricky?
They should stick with Ricky. It's risky going into Super League. Okay, so the Ricky, I mean, Ricky's Ricky. Ricky's Canberra. I know he has his moments, but look in the big picture, he's Canberra. Number one. Number two, I would really work on my pathways and get youngsters pumping through. And what I believe and what I've heard, they've got some great kids underneath. Okay, that's what I've heard. I haven't seen it. Okay. What was the other question?
Didn't they win a
Yeah.
comp?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
won, and they're
the
coming
youngsters?
and they're coming first this year as well. So they got a lot of youngsters coming up. So their pathways are strong. You know what? Going to England is very risky because what they are there when they come here and they've got lucky. I won't lie, they've got lucky, but it's very risky, Nicola.
Can I throw a spanner into the works?
Yeah.
Ricky's in a similar situation to Brad Arthur. Been there a decade, made one grand final, whatever. You said he's Canberra, and he absolutely is. But so is his assistant,
Who's that?
Michael Maguire.
Yeah.
He wore the Canberra jersey too, right?
Mm.
Is he an option?
Yes, absolutely. He might be the next one up.
Interesting.
But is the board strong enough to
No.
say no?
No.
No.
So there you go, GB. I hope we answered your questions.
He's got him to a grand final, and they made the 8 last year, didn't they? They just
Yeah,
stuck in
they
there.
did.
So he
on the
hasn't
back
done
of
too bad.
Brisbane's collapse.
Yeah, he hasn't done
Right.
too bad.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens
Exactly.
this year. And I'll
In
tell
a
you
couple of
why.
years.
If he can get them out of the hole that they're in now, because they look like a mess, okay, he should stay. He should
Yeah.
stay.
Mm.
Let's see what happens.
And GB, I'll be happy to elaborate further if you buy me a piccolo one night during the week, mate. So we'll see you then. Next question's from our Con, Costa Lakia. He's got 2 questions. Will the Bulldogs finish top 6?
No.
No, I see them, if anything, making the 8, but I think that'll be a struggle
No.
to make the 8. Arthur?
No, they'll improve from last year, but
They've improved already.
I think there's a lot of good teams. It's going to be tough.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
won't
as
make
easy.
top
Like
6,
Warriors
yeah.
have just thrown a spanner in. There's a lot of good teams now. So
Will Serraldo outlast Stewart in terms of their current coaching roles?
Yes. of course.
Yes, because Serraldo's only just starting.
Yeah.
Ricky
And-
Stewart.
And Stewart's already
And
been
he's-
there a decade. So
In his early 30s. His late 30s,
Yeah.
Serrano. Ricky's
Yeah.
our age. I think he's a
in
bit-
their current roles he's talking about.
yeah, or even that, yeah.
Well,
I'd
he's
say,
signed
wouldn't
5 years, hasn't he?
he? Who? Yes, he has.
Serraldo?
He has.
That's
5
a
years,
long
yeah.
contract. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he has 5 years.
So there you go, Costa. I hope we've answered that one for you.
putting a lot of faith in Serraldo 5 years. So.
Artie, you got some spam mail for us?
Yeah, got Giuseppina. She's very she's very multi-skilled. She was doing the perm and also typing up this letter. She's got some gossip for us, mate. Apparently, Jared Hayne has signed for the Tigers.
What?
Cell Block C Tigers from Long Bay. He's going to be joining the Prison League very soon. He'll be the marquee signing, apparently. He'll be taken over from Wes Patton.
Well, it's a good thing.
Wes Patton, who was the other marquee signing from... He's 50 now, isn't he? Wes
It's
Patton's been there
a
for a
good
while.
thing that he's decided to join a team called the Tigers because apparently he likes to draw blood.
There you go. Exactly.
Oh, well.
And look, we got rid of him ages ago, but Sachin, the Uber driver, now is wondering if Jared Hayne wants a lift to Newcastle. He's available anytime soon.
Sachin's back on the radar.
He's looking for some bloody dollars, eh? He's trying to make some money anywhere, that bloke.
We got rid of him, but
We got rid of him, but he's just looking for a job. And if Jared Hayne wants a...
It wasn't hard to get
Uber
rid of
driver?
him. He kept getting lost and going to
it's
the wrong
terrible.
place.
It's terrible.
George, you got some tidbits for us?
I have tidbits, Nicola. We're following the plight of the world champion St Helens, and let me tell you something about the Super League. Every ground is full. I think there's been a flow-on effect from the World Cup,
Yeah.
and you know what? They're small, quaint grounds, but the atmosphere in those grounds, guys, are electric. I mean, they don't show every game, unfortunately. They only show 3 games. But every ground a full house, and every game's atmosphere is electric. So look, I love watching it. But St Helens played the Cellar Dwellers this week, Nicola.
Yeah.
They went down. They played the Trinity, and they beat Trinity 38-0. And Trinity's terrible. They're barely a reserve grade
Who's the
team.
star player? They got any NRL players?
Trinity?
Trinity?
No, they've got nothing.
There you
There's
go.
nothing. They'll go straight down.
Mhm.
The top 4, Nicola, Warrington, undefeated. They're just killing it. They're playing really well.
Who's the star there? Warrington? Is that
They got a lot. They got
Matt Duffy? Where's he?
no Duffy's a Wigan.
Okay.
They're very English based.
Okay, sure.
Warrington.
Yep.
Catalans with Pearce.
Pierce?
Yeah,
Oh, there you
with
go.
Piercy.
Second?
They come in second. Wigan with I can't remember now, but
French?
they got
Duffy?
yes.
And they got the crazy Italian? Where's the crazy
no,
Italian?
the crazy Italian team's in a team which is just outside the 8. I forget the team.
God
But
damn.
Wigan's 3rd, and St Helens snuck into the
Top 4.
four
There you go.
Nicola. Just a side note: the ladies started in England. So I don't know what they call it. Their NRLW started in England.
Well.
They've kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about the Lead Leopards. They're just outside the four.
They
They're
probably call it the NRLL.
sorry,
The NRLL.
NRL maybe.
Yeah,
What
the
L?
National Rugby League Women.
in England.
Sorry, National Rugby League Ladies.
Ladies.
No,
I don't know what they are, but their competition started off, and hopefully I can watch it somewhere. I want to talk about a team in England called the Lead Leopards. This is their first year in the top flight. 3 years ago, they were in the third division. There's this crazy billionaire who bought them 3 or 4 years ago, Nicola. Dirk Duellen, whatever. I don't know what he does.
Dirk Diggler.
Something like that. Crazy guy. Loves the rugby league. Absolutely psycho about his rugby league. He's talking about coming to Australia and raiding Australian players. But he's designed a jersey, which we've seen.
Oh my God!
It's a big talking point in England at the moment.
That's got to be the fuggliest jersey I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's funny. It's funny. I saw it, and at the start I go, I don't care. But more I see it, more I hate it.
It's horrible.
He designed it himself, Nicola.
Yeah, well, it shows, right? I mean,
Are we able
it's
to put that
horrible.
on the Instagram post?
Yeah.
so
We'll
everyone
put
can
it
see
on Instagram.
That's a shocker.
We'll put it on the Instagram post. But look, they're doing pretty well for a team who's got English-based players. He hasn't bought any Australians or New Zealanders yet.
Oh wow.
Yet. The guy's crazy. He's like a billionaire. Money's not a
The
issue
jersey
for him.
looks like it was put into a washing machine with a couple of psychedelic hoodies.
That's crazy.
That's horrible.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Looks like something
basically.
Josephina wears when she does her hairdressing. It looks like a women's top, doesn't it? Like that one.
Should see it live when they're playing. I
That's
wouldn't wear
crazy,
it.
man.
I swear. I wouldn't wear it. But anyway.
Is it fur? I
No,
suppose
it's
it's
not
not
fur.
fur.
It's a leopard's
That'd be-
face, but
imagine
it's,
that, eh? If they did have fur, it'd be hard to grab.
then PETA would come out, the liberation group against animals.
For tackling, you can't be able, you won't tackle. You'll be slipping off. So it's maybe a good tactic.
It's a
There's-
horrible jersey.
It is.
Wigham has released Thomas McCall, Australian, who's working or playing there, Nicola. He's gone straight into the Gold Coast team. He's a Gold Coast junior. He's with.
That's the hooker they
Fafita.
signed.
No, the hooker's another guy. This is
Okay.
the front rower.
Oh, okay.
He's an Australian boy.
Oh, yeah, is he good?
He was very well. He's been playing very well, but he's been released on compassionate reasons. And Gold Coast signed him up straight away. He grew up with Tanner Boyd and Fafita.
there you go.
He's from that school. They went to the same school.
Mhm.
And that hooker they signed, you're talking about Cruz Lehman.
Is he good?
No. well,
Wow.
no, let me
Okay.
clarify. Let me clarify this, okay? In Super League, he looks solid. Now, can he come to Australia and with the coaching become a regular first grader? Possibly. Is he a superstar like the Parramatta hooker, recent hooker? No, but I could be wrong. Yeah. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
I could be wrong, and I'm interested. Has he been put in straight away in the team this week?
No, I don't think he's in this
He's on
week.
the bench.
no.
Okay. The NRLW talking about women, Nicola. The window is open for them to buy players.
Yeah, there was a lot of buyings, ins and outs,
lot
wasn't
of
there?
buying, lot of buying,
absolutely, shitloads.
and the big spend in St George Illawarra team has opened the purse strings.
yeah, they bought a lot, man.
Yeah, well, they bought the prize signature of McGrady. Sorry.
Dalian winner.
She's a Dalian winner.
Mm.
She played for the Roosters. She's probably the best player in the comp.
Okay.
So they've secured her signature with a lot of others. I'm not going to go through it.
Go
through
Jamie
them.
Soward, hey?
Jamie Soward, yeah.
Yeah.
When's
So-
he going to switch over to NRL? It's got to happen soon.
Who?
Jamie Soward.
I don't know, but has he joined himself?
Yeah, he seems to be doing a good job too.
He's in the
doing
box
a
there
job.
with
Yeah.
the coach, so...
The other thing is the Roosters lost McGrady, so they've gone out and bought Millie Boyle.
Yeah.
just to cover her.
Whose boyfriend
Jeez.
moves to Newcastle to be
I was
with
just
her.
going to say,
Yeah.
the poor guy's got a heart, took the heart into the pineapple because he's gone to
wow.
Newcastle
He
to be
moved
with
there.
her.
He left Canberra to move to go to Newcastle to be with her, and now
So-
she's coming back to Sydney.
Get
So-
the hint. I think what's his
Yeah.
name should get the hint that she doesn't want nothing
Adam
to do with
Elliott.
him. eh?
I
She's
I
Yeah.
think,
trying to get
I
out.
think they got engaged in the off season, but the issue is that every team has got one marquee player, which they can pay him anything.
Yep.
So that's why Millie Boyle went there because they pay her anything. And the nice story, Nicola, from all this, that's the two signings of the upper echelon. The heartwarming story: a young girl, or not a young girl, a woman called Maria Graf.
Yeah.
She was the Brazilian captain in the World Cup.
Didn't know they played rugby league, but yeah.
Played rugby league. She was the Brazilian captain, and let me tell you, probably the standout player in that team. Okay, she's coming over to play for the Sunshine Coast team.
Yeah.
So she looks like she's secured an NRL contract, and again, more of them should come over.
Wow.
Have I ever told you guys about my favourite T-shirt that I've got at home that I have made up?
No.
It says, "I'll show you I'm Italian if you show me you're Brazilian."
I love
There
it.
you go.
I love it. I love it. And just a side note, and you can tell me if this is a good idea. The international board, at the end of the year, at the end of every year, beside World Cup years, wants Australia to have a Four Nations competition, which will comprise Australia, New Zealand, Samoa, and Tonga. Of course, Fiji and Papua New Guinea are pretty pissed off at the moment.
I'm happier for it if that replaces the World Cup. This needs to be a separate conversation. I'm going to stir the pot.
Several conversations.
This needs to be a separate conversation, but this is why I'm against growing the game internationally.
Why?
Because look at America, look at the NFL. They don't give a shit about building an NFL anywhere else. They put all their funds into the NFL.
How many
Same
people?
as baseball.
How many people live in America?
It works.
How many people live in
It
America?
works, and it's worked here for over 100 years.
But
without bringing
wait a minute,
A bunch of other countries into
Adi
it.
just showed us in 1990
Yeah,
every team had a good halfback.
yeah.
Has every team got a good halfback in this current
What's your
NRL?
definition of a good halfback?
Well, internationals,
Well,
all
wait a
of them.
second. They weren't all good. Go through that halfback list, Artie, again, if you don't mind.
Sure,
Just
sure.
quickly.
Let me see if I can find it.
And give us 2 seconds in between
okay.
them.
All right. Ricky Stewart,
Brilliant.
Alexander,
Brilliant.
Langer,
Brilliant.
Tuvi,
Good.
Coleman,
Targa,
Who?
come on, Targa.
Tucker Coleman,
Never heard of her.
Targa.
Next.
Sterling.
Brilliant, but he was past it at that point.
But still, he's a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Scott Gale. I loved him. He was
So
quite-
wait a
Sip
second.
and chase.
Wait a second.
Sip and chase.
When we look at these players, we're thinking about their whole career. But your point of the argument, you're talking about halfbacks today. Let's talk about halfbacks for the last 10 years, including today. That's what we're doing here, right?
Well, that year.
No, that
No,
year. Yeah.
but we're not talking that year,
Well,
are
no.
we?
But that year, these guys were playing.
Oh, well, Sterling was shit in 1990.
no, but he was playing.
yeah, but he was
still playing.
shit.
Yeah, but
So, what?
well, who's an aging halfback in
Yeah,
the, in
who's
the
the
club
agent?
now?
Ben Hunt.
He's going great.
Yeah, he's going good.
But he's
So there you
same
go.
age
You
as
just made my
Sterlo.
point.
But he's the same age as Sterlo. He's just playing.
Sterlo was
better.
shit in
all
1990.
I'm saying
He
is,
had injuries,
all I'm
bad
saying
injuries.
is that about half the teams in the NRL today have got decent halfbacks. I'm
Yeah.
talking decent, first grade halfbacks. Okay,
I would argue that it would be the same in 1990.
What about Ivan Henjak,
What about him?
McGrady, who won Daly M, didn't he?
Seriously,
Without
any
a
of these
dynasty.
guys really...
And Freeman, New Zealand captain.
Yeah,
He was a coach.
he never went anywhere.
But he
Freeman,
was
a
Gary
great
Freeman.
He was a
halfback.
great
Yeah,
halfback.
he never won nothing.
but it's a good
He got
halfback.
2 grand
Yeah,
finals
alright.
with the Tigers,
I
but they
wouldn't
lost
say he
him.
was great. He was good. He went to
He's a good
Parramatta
halfback.
after as well. I wouldn't
Well,
say he was
I
great.
liked him.
he's better than Flanagan.
Why? How can you compare him to
Better than
Flanagan?
Brooks. Well, we're
Yeah.
saying that every
Well,
team
fuck. I
had
mean,
a
there was-
decent
I mean,
halfback.
Brooks-
There was about
I mean,
8 good halfbacks
First
there.
of all, I'm better than Brooks. Second of all, fucking Flanagan's better than Coleman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Targa. We love Targa. He's our
Anyway.
family favourite.
Anyway, point is, I don't need to see more Papua New Guineans playing halfback. All right, but like I said, we got to go because the red light's flashing on the wall. But it's a conversation for another night. But I'd love to have it because I can
I
see
think
how,
that's a good concept.
I
Though.
can see how passionate you guys are about it. So I want to have it.
I like that concept. Yeah, I think it's good. Four
Every-
strong teams.
that
It's
one
going to help strengthen those
I'm all for
international
it. But
teams.
replace the World Cup because we don't need to see Italy, Greece, and Ireland and Scotland.
Talking about Italy and Greece, Ireland at the end of the year, the European League is going to have eight nations, which comprise of England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and the other group France, Serbia, Italy, and Spain.
What about Greece?
Well, I don't know. They didn't qualify.
Wow.
You know
Oh,
what?
they didn't qualify.
Italy are the best European country in the history of football.
Right,
and,
soccer, yeah.
and they can't even get that right at the moment. So I don't want to worry about rugby league.
Well, I'm just saying that's what they've proposed, and
That's good.
and England's pretty pissed off because they think they should be in the four nation group here with Australia. But I just look, that's what the international board brought up. I thought
Wow.
I'd bring it up.
Thanks, Georgie.
I can't wait for it. Bring it on.
I can't understand. It's Pacific Nations Cup. They should just call it that. And the
I
other one
can't-
should be the European. Yeah,
I
makes
can't wait
sense.
to argue about it. We'll have some fun.
There's no argument.
Of course,
It is
there
what
is.
it
I think
is.
it's a good idea.
It is
I
what
like
it is. I actually think that they're playing too much rugby league. Actually, honestly.
And to dovetail off that, so that means the New Zealand, because Samoa and Tonga are in that, is it Samoa and Tonga
Yeah,
you said?
yeah.
Does that mean that those players don't qualify for State of Origin now? Because if that's the case, then I'm all for it.
That's a whole nother.
no, but I'm just saying, if it gets rid of...
he's just calming down. Don't
No,
get
no,
him
Samoa-
started.
If it gets rid of those players playing for Origin, and I'm even more for it because I think it's
Tonga
great.
is aren't a first tier country.
I'll-
Well, they should
I'll-
make them if they're going to do
Yeah,
that.
make them.
I'll
If
also
they make
argue
them, make
that
them.
if we had more better halfbacks in 1990, that's because there was an avenue for more better players to come through. That door's been shut now because we've got people from other countries coming in.
Another topic. We've got another
That's not true.
podcast.
That's
for
not
that.
right.
Let's do that.
No, I know.
That's
I'm just
not
trying.
right.
I'm just
That's
trying to
origin.
fuel the fire. Boys,
origin
we,
talk.
we need to wrap it up before we go. What are you guys looking forward to this weekend?
Easter. Be
4
around,
days
be around
off.
family.
Yeah,
4 days
yeah.
off. Our Easter's actually next week. the
As
Orthodox
well.
Easter.
As well. So I'll get a double banger.
Yeah, so you get double bang, which is good. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But 4 days of footy, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
I,
pretty
I
good.
like my footy. You know what? Traditionally on the Friday, I'm sitting next to Nicola, be it a small little box television or in front of
Yeah.
his
Well, this
television.
Friday it's at my place, so it'll be on the television. Don't worry about
the
that.
television or at the G Man's house watching the Easter Friday game. So it's good. And occasionally we get the Easter Sunday game as well in front of the G Man's television and around family, which I actually like. I actually like that, enjoy that, look forward to it. So Easter to me spells that footy and family. Yeah, family and
Food
footy.
and food coma.
Triple F.
Ooh,
Family, food, footy.
That's
yeah,
it.
it's the best
Should
part
be
of the
great.
year.
Well, on that note, happy Easter, everyone.
Yes, and happy Easter to all of our listeners and viewers. To everyone, once again, don't forget to send your feedback and questions to quickhandsrugbyleague@gmail.com, or you can message us directly on Instagram. We're on YouTube, Facebook. You know the drill. All the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out, especially on Insta. We'll be sharing a few shorts from this week's Off the Bench show, as well as tonight's show. And have a great guys. Have a great Easter.
Enjoy.
Happy rugby league, and last week's show was received really well. Wonder Boy, our producer, tells me. So thank you again.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you for
guys.
everything, and have a great Easter. And we'll see you all next week.
Enjoy your rugby league.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.